Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
Line?
Chris Wolfhard.
Thank you.
And Dr. Aggro.
It's beach time.
Here on GigaBoots.
I don't want Grunty to run for governor. I want Humba Wumba or literally anyone else. Maybe. What is his name? Bottles?
Yeah, with the glasses.
Yeah, I feel like
Bottles seems like a. Although honestly, like there's a lot we don't know about Bottles. He's got a lot of anger.
He's got a lot of anger. Well, being killed will do that.
Yeah,
to
I was
you.
like, I feel like that's pretty justified anger.
Because he's fucking dead.
Some sort of righteous fury that we might need in office.
Let's ask the actual gaming politician what he thinks. He doesn't. He's informed us he has no thoughts. Anyways, hello. Welcome to Big Think Dimension number 263. We're very excited to talk about the games we've been playing. I'm very excited to listen to another human being who actually played and beat Banjo Nuts and Bolts talk about having done such a thing. Sure would be something if that game didn't open with them looking into the camera and saying it.
Yeah, that's true. That sure probably hurt the
reception just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I feel like most people don't like that. Anyway, we're not talking about that yet. We're not talking about Banjo Nuts and Bolts yet. We're talking about other stuff like Sonic Adventure 2. Which I finally beat last Friday because I would always get to the underwater segment as Knuckles and go, this ain't happening, game. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. And as it turns out, I'm supposed to find the weird air necklace thing that's in a different level. And I didn't figure that out in time because I had to return it to Blockbuster. But I finally did it with the help of Sarah Lene. That was a delightful stream, except it was actually a nightmare stream tech-wise.
Right?
Because we have a real Dreamcast. It's got an HDMI mod. It looks really great. Problem is, if I use the real controller and I stand up out of this chair, the static electricity I charge by doing that and then discharge into the controller was enough to crash the Dreamcast. Not like every now and again. No, like every time. So we had to use the wireless Brooks adapter to use a DualShock 4 on, or DualSense?
Yeah, no, I think we did
DualShock 4. Yeah, that's right. On the Dreamcast, but then the stick mapping is apparently terrible. A thing we wouldn't have known because we mostly used it to play fighting games with the decent D-pad.
Right, because the Dreamcast does not have a good D-pad at all.
But it has a lot of good fighting games, weirdly enough.
Yes.
So we didn't know. We didn't know until we had to pull that out as a last resort in time for that stream. It has resulted in me just having this feeling of I need to beat that game again, but on the GameCube so I could use a good controller that maps correctly to the movement of the game.
Yeah, also the Knuckles segments will be way better on the Dreamcast or on the GameCube because they add a feature that's super important.
Yeah, they have the exclamation mark thing that's like, no, you're right on top of it. Whereas in the Dreamcast version, it's like, oh, I'm red. I could be anywhere in this like 5 square foot area or 25 square foot area, and you're like,
dig every inch of it.
And it was so bad. It was literally Bob would be here and it wouldn't work. And then he would move, I'm not even kidding, this much. Not like screen space wise, like in reality, right? Less than a foot. And then it would actually dig up the emerald. That was insane. I didn't realize because I grew up with the Dreamcast or with the GameCube version.
Right.
I didn't even realize for the longest time that the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2 ran at 60. I assumed it ran at 30 because if I remember correctly, Sonic Adventure 1 runs at 30 frames per second on the Dreamcast and 60 on the GameCube. But then they banged up that port in so many ways that people have made a billion mods for PC, and the PC port is based off of the PS3 and 360 port, which is based off of the GameCube port. So there are a billion mods to fix that up to make it as close to good as possible. Sometime I'll have to give that a proper shot. Sonic Adventure 2 is a delightful game. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as much as I could given the technical circumstances, but it was still a really fun stream, and I think if you haven't watched it, you should. Sara's great, and Sonic Adventure 2 is great. After that, though, we played Ahead in Time.
One thing on Sonic Adventure, I think it was really funny. Every time that we had a cutscene where, for no reason, like, it wouldn't make any sense for them to do this, but Tails or Robotnik would just be in their vehicle and talking to people. And it's like, they wouldn't be like this.
We're hiding
This is
from the
crazy.
cops. I'm just going to sit in my really loud mech
Yes.
on the side of the road.
Well, yeah, if the cops are about to pop, you got to be ready to shoot them with missiles.
It makes sense, Bob. It makes sense.
Maybe the
It
cops
just
wouldn't
makes
find
sense.
you if there wasn't a jet engine going off at all times.
Look, all we're
maybe
saying-
Tails wants to kill them. Maybe Tails invested in Teflon-coated bullets and will feel like he wasted the money if he doesn't get to deploy them on some officers of the law.
And we also don't know which Tales or universe this is. This could be that Sonic, what was it? The most recent cartoon where they have the multiverse.
God.
It could be the
Sonic
one.
Prime.
Yeah, Prime. It could be the one from Sonic Prime. That's just like, I'm ready to kill. I'm Doc Ock. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we don't know these
The
things.
only way I will know is via a Sonic month. Who knows if that will ever happen?
Probably
Man,
not.
I'm glad that it only took 21 years for them to realize that the end of a Sonic game should just be ripping off an anime and putting Super Sonic in it and be like, go kill that thing.
Yes. No, it's true.
While a really loud vocal song plays. That's the end of your Sonic game.
Yeah. No, that's a peak ending for a Sonic game.
Man, before Frontiers, we sure did have 3 games with the exact same final bosses.
Exciting. I'm trying to think of how many of those I've beaten. I got close on Colors.
Yeah, Colors, Lost World, and Forces, and I really do think that Lost World is probably the worst one of any Sonic game, any 3D one.
I'll have you know, Sarah Lene says Lost World is a very good Mario game.
It's just it. The levels aren't the worst thing, but then there's cutscenes where Sonic just looks at the camera and says a slur, because that was still written by the Happy Tree Friends guys or whoever the fuck they got.
Yeah, 2 of the writers on Colors were that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they were like in charge of the whole show in Lost World, I think.
That's real weird.
Yeah.
I think Lost World's neat, but I barely played it, so
I'll never stop slandering the Deadly Six, just the absolute worst fucking characters that the Sonic franchise has ever cooked up.
Yeah, it's got all those people based on sins, and then the Green Goblin. He's the sinister one.
Yeah.
The greatest sin of all.
How have we not put the Green Goblin screaming finish it on the soundboard?
I don't know. There's always these things that we're like, how is that not there yet?
See, and then when a new Kingdom Hearts game comes out and you have to stream that, you can put him screaming the heart on the soundboard.
Yeah, I am very curious because I've seen chunks of the later part of Lost World as Sarah played through it, but I only played a couple worlds of it, you know?
Yeah, I also played it back when it came out and just kind of got bored and stopped playing it. I don't know.
I'm glad they fixed the boss fight from the Wii U version where you can just kill yourself and there's nothing you can do about it and you don't know you've killed yourself until it's too late. Because there's a boss fight where you get the rocket power up and you beat up the boss.
Okay.
He moves to another planetoid and you grab the rocket power up, and when you activate the rocket power up, it switches to a first person view for you to aim it.
Okay.
If you're on if you can't look, like you can't back out of firing it. So if you activate it in the wrong place where you can't see the planet you're supposed to go to, this is true on the Wii U version at least. I think they fixed it in the PC version.
You just turtle off into the vacuum of space?
And you have to hit the button to confirm firing. So you just look around like, oh shit, I can't see the planetoid.
Oh no, they lock you in and then you have to hit the button.
Mission Control is low tier God. He's waiting for the call.
because it's us, we're probably going to play the Wii U version, so it doesn't matter if they fixed it.
I feel like it would be peak experience if we played the Wii U version. Plus, we got this nice retro to 4K. We could upscale it. It'll look just as good as the PC version, right?
You gotta play. You gotta play the Wii U version so somebody can preserve the Zelda level and the Yoshi level.
That's true. We did a video forever ago where it was like just us checking those out because they were really impressive and neat.
Mm-hmm.
That video is undoubtedly terrible, as every video that's like 10 years old from us is.
And the PC version has a Knights level instead, which maybe the Wii U version also has. I don't know.
I think Modder's got the Zelda level and stuff into the PC.
Yeah, because it's all in the PC version. All you have to do is unlock it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's funny.
All
I'm
that
surprised
content's
Nintendo
already
doesn't
there.
want them dead for that.
Apparently, let's see. People are saying the Wii U Special Edition got the Knights level. All right. Yeah, I'm really excited for Sonic Month. I loved playing through Sonic Adventure 2, in theory. I'm gonna play through again in my own time on GameCube, or maybe Nyan will do it. Maybe, I don't know. But it feels like if we don't stream Lost Levels on the Wii U, we will never stream another thing on the Wii U except for Mighty Number 9.
I mean, yeah, probably. Unless we were like, oh no, we need to go through Xenoblade Chronicles X because everything else has been ported off.
In my head, the only way this sentence is coming out of our mouths, if we're now in the Days of Ruin universe, like Advance Wars, and it's just a dystopic gray morass, and we're just like, it's the only game we haven't beaten.
The only one in the world.
The only one in the world.
Jesus. Yeah, no, things would be pretty dire.
It's to the point where it's like, do we just want to give a month to someone so the Pikmin fans can bully them for being an even smaller fan base? Because that's Xenoblade Chronicles X month right there.
Yeah.
Not even all the Xenoblade fans will show up. That's dire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Batman, Arkham.
Oh my God, Arkham City or Origins?
Yeah, I think it's City is the one that has a weird Wii U version. It's like Armored Edition.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the ideal way to play it. I doubt it.
Man, the Wii U sure got a lot of horrible ports of games. I think the Wii U has Mass Effect 3 and none of the others.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like everything that was coming out that holiday season, they're like, oh, we'll put it on the Wii U too. And that did not pan out well.
The Wii U is like the worst 7th gen console because it's missing 95% of the library of 7th gen.
And it came out that late into 7th gen that, yeah,
Right.
Of course it is.
Right. Man.
Did it line up with...
What's up, Bob?
Did it line up with Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, or did it line up with different
No, that was
Assassin's
the
Creed?
next year.
Okay.
They got an Assassin's Creed. Which one was it?
I think 3?
Yeah, I think 3 is probably right. Because they had one right at launch.
Maybe they did get Black Flag.
I'm seeing people in chat say they got 2 Assassin's Creed games on the console for free when they got theirs.
Great.
The Wii U had some good bundles, which goes to show you something failing can be good for you. You should stop wanting companies to succeed. Right. You should start wanting them to bomb.
Black Flag shipped on the Wii U. Jesus Christ, that must have dozens of copies sold.
I have to wonder, that has to be the PS3 version. There's no way any part of the next gen version is how that looks.
No. Now I'm just remembering that they announced that Xbox bundle, like recently, the Xbox Series X bundle was Nickelodeon All-Stars
Brawl 2.
Yeah.
Is that the one where the Series X is SpongeBob?
Yep.
Yeah, they announced that, and that bundle's like over $500 or something, and I was like, what the fuck? And at the same time, Sony apparently put out like a Slim and Spider-Man 2 bundle that's under $500. I'm like, yeah, people are saying $699.
What?
No way.
No
way.
That's insane. I didn't even look at the price.
I just
don't want to believe
processed
it.
that it was over 500, which is crazy enough.
Did you?
Yet in the Spider-Man one is $450.
Did anybody else see the Financial Times article from? I think it was either yesterday or the day before. Or might even been today.
No.
It was the 4th, so it was Monday. It's now this is a financial paper. This isn't a gaming paper. They put out articles like, yeah, Microsoft's about to fucking leave the gaming industry, like the console industry.
Yup.
Like they talked to a bunch of
God.
analysts, but it was funny because it talked to a bunch of analysts and it had this hilarious tone of, there's not going to be a Western console anymore. The West has fallen. Billions must die.
Oh my God.
It's like it's over.
Yeah.
Oriental menace will take us.
I think one of those 7th Gen game journalists is writing that now on Twitter.
Right?
Just verbatim. I'm of two minds here. The purpose of Xbox when it first got made was important for empowering and bettering development tools and approaching developers back when that happened. You know, they made a very approachable console, easy to develop for, with good documentation. And because of that competition, you know, past the PS3, Sony had to improve. And Nintendo had to improve. It is now 2024, and I do not see anything in the last 3 years that Microsoft has done that is better than... You can go larger than 3.
It's like you can go 10 at least. That's
10
how bad
years that they have done to better the industry from even a competitive angle. I legitimately can't think of one. But that is really funny that Financial Times is just like, bro, this writing is on the wall. And yet I know multiple 7th Gen game journalists who are just having meltdowns and like, no, that's not happening. And if it does happen, no one lost anyways. That was their plan. I'm like, oh, wow. They developed 2 consoles just to not sell them in 4 years?
Wow, man.
That's incredible. That's twice as many consoles as they did for the Xbox original. And we brought this up. I think it was either last Friday or the Friday before. Listener, please imagine if this was the generation of the Xbox original, you would already be hearing about the next Xbox, which will come out this winter. Because that's how many years the Xbox original was on the market before they're like, yeah, we're fucking done.
I mean,
3 whole years and in 2 months. Fuck you, baby. Start marketing the next one.
we heard about the next Xbox. Who knows if it'll ever actually materialize, but they told us about it.
They said it would be the biggest leap ever, which I assume means it has spring action legs. No, I haven't seen anyone entertain that.
No.
They might. We don't know. You don't know that it doesn't have spring action legs that make it the biggest leap in a single console generation. Motherfucking Xbox shaped like a frog. I'm like, well, at least there's a reason to own it. That's fucking hilarious. I'm feeding discs to this frog.
Now that I think about it, maybe they mean in their own console generations, because they missed out on the giant leaps of the Super Nintendo to the like PS1 sort of thing, and the PS1 to the PS2. Like they just had Xbox to 360, which isn't nearly as big a jump as either of those.
I mean, yeah, that's true. If they have that clarification, then that means it's only incredibly wrong.
All right. Instead of absolutely infeasible.
Right. It's
you are ignoring the possibility that the console comes bundled with a key that you can put in to get the rights to stream all of Quantum Leap for a month.
That would be the biggest amount of leap in a console relative generation to generation. But yeah, even if they do the $1,000 Xbox, I'm not even sure that's true.
I know, right?
Technically, you know, the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X come out in the same generation. That's a huge GPU performance leap. Relative there, that might be 6-fold or more.
Huh.
So, comment to Xbox. Are we getting
be really funny when
success?
that new Xbox that new Xbox is going to be some bullshit like it's actually a gaming PC, but you can boot it into an Xbox mode.
That's what some people are saying. That's what some people are hoping.
So that's not a console. Like at that point, you've given up.
At that point, you made the Microsoft Surface of consoles. Yeah.
It's not a new box you're making games for. It's
Well, they're handing a spec to developers and they themselves, so that way you can make games for it. Is that not what a console is? I will be leaving before you ask further questions. Goodbye. Just to be real clear, in order to hit that mark that I just established of Xbox One launch to the One X, of 6X roughly performance, the successor to the Series X would need to be my 4090. Are they going to pack a $1,500 GPU into their Xbox in 2 years?
They're going to do it.
They're going to do that? They're going to do it?
The most expensive leap ever, too.
But yeah, and that's the thing I'm seeing people mention in chat. I always speak in this way where I assume you know, but I need to write this stuff, spell it out more often. That next Xbox allegedly is being made by the Surface team. Yeah, that's in the leaks.
It's over.
Yeah, so I don't know why they would do that, other than they're actually just making a small form factor PC and being like, it's an Xbox.
No, the other way. It's an Xbox the size of a dinner table. It is a Microsoft Surface.
But see, that's the original Surface, not the modern thing they call Surface, which is like a tablet. The original Surface is dope. You sell me an Xbox that is that. Yeah, it's the biggest leap in a single console generation ever. It's huge.
Right at the table.
It's a fucking table with the touchscreen. I'm playing strategy games all day. That would be the definitive platform.
It would.
No, we're just going to get a powerful PC in a small box, which is... It's not a terrible idea. It would at least defer. It would be better than what they're currently doing.
Will it? There's like it'll suck shit. It'll be terrible.
It could be. It could not suck shit. It could not be terrible.
It'll cost a lot of money. It'll have good performance at the time, but you won't be able to upgrade it. So you, at that point, just get a fucking PC.
It would basically become their version of a Mac. But you would hope they wouldn't have as huge of a margin. Because once you have that huge...
They explicitly said they want to have a bigger margin.
That's true. They did say that. We're so fucked.
They already have such a big margin.
So wait, 1 second. Let's put all the details together. The Microsoft Surface team is making an Xbox that will have huge margins and be as powerful as a 4090 in 2 years. Table. And maybe a table in reality.
Yeah, like this honestly, I really do think that when the time comes, like, we have to put this into production, they'll be like, no, fucking never mind.
Yeah, this does feel like that.
Like, or it'll be some...
Phil Spencer's like that guy in Hey Arnold whose pants falls down because Arnold does the kung fu on him thinking he's a robber. Just Phil's pants fall off and he's like, never mind, I don't care anymore. Just walks away sobbing. Way to go, Surface team. Oh, and I'm seeing in chat, Surface team had huge layoffs. We're so fucked.
Oh, come on.
Like, I just, I had to, I feel like we go through the same handful of Xbox coke every couple of years.
Yeah.
And some even Dan did. Like, Xbox will use their good AI to engineer a really powerful box that is unarguably the best of that generation.
Yeah, I mean, the One X is a very powerful console compared to the PlayStation 4 Pro. The problem is they mandated people target native 4K, so almost every game runs worse, and they shouldn't have done that even for a second.
And the Series X isn't that at all.
No, it's not. It's,
and I saw people being like, "Well, they'll do that with the next Xbox. It'll be so unbelievably performant. Everybody will be shocked." And like, doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. And the big one is every like 2 years, Xbox fans go, Sony's in trouble now. They've awakened the sleeping giant.
Yeah, that keeps happening, and I don't get it.
Microsoft is gonna be so committed. They're gonna be willing to burn all kinds of money to take over the industry. I'm like, guys, in 2020, when the biggest rumor was Microsoft will clap back by making their online play free, their response to that rumor was to attempt to double the price of Xbox Live.
Yep.
Like, they don't give a shit. They're never going to give a shit. That's why they're in the situation they're in right now. is because they never give a shit.
Right, and it would be great if they started pretending that because the thing is, like, the Xbox division of Microsoft, I do believe a number of people there, if the Xbox division goes away, they don't have a job.
Yeah.
So they should probably start acting like that.
Yeah, like it's so hard to convince a company that you'd make less money getting rid of this. You'd make more money getting rid of this entire vision. Like it does nothing but lose money. Like, or it loses money on the macro scale. Like you would lose nothing by getting rid of it. But that's really the point we're getting at Xbox. I know they don't want to lose those Game Pass subs. I know they don't want to lose that. But do Game Pass subs cover the losses from the console hardware, the upkeep on the infrastructure, delivering the content, updating the fucking box's OS? Does it cover? Because I don't think it does.
I just want to talk. This is as good a place to tell this story as any. So, I'm signed up at different websites that help content creators get in contact with publishers to get keys for things. And occasionally, if what we cover fits the profile of what a publisher is looking for, they'll literally select us to get emailed and be like, "Hey, you're like guaranteed a key for this if you apply for it." Well, the weirdest one I had ever seen came in. It was like, Xbox Game Studios has a huge new game they want you to cover. And I go, okay. I click the email. It's just Game Pass.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What?
I guess the email is auto-generated based on this publisher wants you to cover their big important new game, and then it was just PC Game Pass. And I just fucking lost it. So anyways, I guess I could get a code for 1 month of PC Game Pass.
Great.
Yippee. And when that new Xbox happens, there will only be PC Game Pass because that new Xbox is seemingly, allegedly, a PC. But yeah, I think there's a good chance that they will at least offer anything to anyone if they take that path going forward. I don't think it will be successful for them.
Dan, they can't do that. It'll have to be a PC that requires you to buy Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to use Game Pass on it.
So you're saying normal Game Pass won't work on this because it's a PC?
I'm saying PC Game Pass won't work on it.
It'll somehow be some bullshit worst of every single world thing.
Right.
We'll get to we are rapidly getting to the point where Xbox is going to turn into like, remember the Red Letter Media joke where they're like, Disney is going to start being like, here's the super Star Wars theater ticket that costs $200. Yeah. Like that's what this new Xbox is going to be. Like it's going to be for xCloud Tim Dog, except xCloud Tim Dog is no longer an Xbox fanboy.
Yeah, they lost them all 2 weeks ago. This is how bad it is, chat, okay? I went to YouTube. I'm like, Xbox conference. It's still showing me that thing from 2 weeks ago, top result. It's like, oh, I figured you should know they're fucking dead. And I'm like, no, the one that happened just today.
Right?
God! Speaking of which, Digital Foundry did an analysis of xCloud versus the PlayStation 5 streaming thing. I was shocked to shit because they changed a lot about how that works on the Xbox side behind the scenes without announcing it at all. It used to be you could understand that you were playing the Series X version of a game.
Right.
That is no longer the case. You are playing the Series S version of a game if you stream it.
Whoa.
So one, that. Two, it is horrible bitrate. Horrible bitrate. Like the quality is ass. And three, your latency might be better depending on the specific game and where you are relative to a server.
Gaikai is still too powerful. They can't beat it.
It's true. I think his name's David Perry. He never loses. Never once. Don't look it up. That's insane for a company putting that much weight behind the xCloud stuff.
Right.
Sony basically never talks about their streaming. So why is it higher quality and you get the PS5 versions? So it was just depressing seeing those comparisons. It was dire. I did like at the end of the day, I don't like playing games streamed anyway, but I thought it was really sad that they had given up on having a quality experience entirely by it being the Series S versions of these things and the bitrate just being so bad.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, none of this fucking Hat in Time? Shut the fuck up, everybody. How the fuck did we start talking about the 2026 Xbox?
I don't know, man.
How did we get
These
from
things
Sonic
happen.
Adventure 2 to the fucking 2026 Xbox? Anyways, hey, you guys, you like gaming? How about hats?
I guess those are cool.
Okay.
I wear a hat.
Yeah, and you game.
Yes.
So there you go. You must love it. We played Hat in Time. A Hat in Time is very good. Did you know? Thank God they patched in that 60 frames per second mode for the PS4 version.
Yeah.
I would have been like, stream's canceled. We're done here. Ain't no way, Chief. Yeah, Hat in Time's pretty good. For people who don't know, it's a really charming 3D platformer made for PS4 and Xbox One. Then it came over to the Switch and got all of its DLC there. Oh, and also PC. Then it got all of its DLC on the Switch before it finally got it on PS4 for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
The game's really delightful, and it was really fun watching it work correctly as a collectathon, where you could collect the important collectible that dictates progress in the game from anywhere you want, and then when you have enough, you can end the game. So we didn't see World 4.
Yeah, that's always fun.
That was great. They made it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else would be insane. Mario Sunshine.
Do every shine in every level.
Not every shine, just the first 7.
Yeah.
Because there are more after that suck.
How is that even possible?
Watermelons.
Oh, right.
But yeah, a number of people kept bombing the stream and going, hey, how's Sunshine but good going? And I'm like, Jesus, everyone, can we stop?
I have a hard time associating with that because there are forwards movement options. And you don't have your movement options on a bar that was a limit.
You've consumed all your mobility water. Well, the right analog stick moves the camera weirdly, so.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Also, the bosses are weirdly like bullet hell and other stuff inspired. Like, you could tell that they went crazy with those.
Yeah, they had some really well-designed bosses, which is not something I ever assume a 3D platformer is going to have.
No.
I've seen them fail at bosses a lot more than I've seen them succeed, so that was pretty great. That game's great. Undoubtedly, someday I'll be coming back for World 4 and the DLCs. That day isn't soon because we have 50 Cent Blood on the Sand to play this Friday. And a Mario Marathon for Sunday, which I guess I'll get out of the way now. We're doing a flop swap of Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. And when chat fills the meter, it just switches which one we're playing, and we're going to struggle and try to beat a game like that.
Is it possible?
Also, this is the most optimum our flop swap technology will be. It will literally switch so fast, it will look like you changing channels on an analog TV. So this is going to be fun. I'm going to go ahead and just make an open plea right now. When the cutscenes start, just switch us, please. Those games have very long cutscenes, those other two.
Now I just imagine, because of the way you described it, we flop between them, we keep swapping, and then once in a while it's just an old 90s episode of SNL, and that's just on.
Yeah, we're just watching the shirt in a can skit.
Right?
We're like, delightful. It burns. I love this. But yeah, anyway, we don't know how the situation is going to work with 50 Cent Blood on the Sand and getting that to YouTube. So you probably want to be there for that stream. Did you know that 50 Cent Blood on the Sand is not available digitally, but it is back compat on the Series X, meaning we're going to get 60 frames per second, baby. The way it was meant to be played. Do you think that 2026 Xbox is going to have a back compat proper for the older 360 games?
It had better.
They canceled the back compat initiative.
I know.
3 years ago.
I know,
or
but
two years.
if they release a new box that doesn't have that,
then they will somehow get negative sales.
Yes, like they'll just break everything. Like, no, I'm sorry, never buying that. Oh yeah, while we played Hat in Time, I had to draw a lot of Jinkaria. So if you want to see those, watch that stream or look at Dan's Twitter feed of all of them. Their horrors.
You know, I can just come over here and pull some stuff up. One moment, Bob.
There are some truly horrible things they had me do.
Like Jinkaria as a saying. Here, Bob, you can stand with him.
I don't want to stand with him.
Aggro, I'm sorry his hair is kind of like in your face. Oh no, he's eating it. Anyway, yeah, there are a bunch like Jinkaria, Shoujo Jinkaria, Jinkarian as a Saiyan.
Yeah.
Jinkaria with the jacket fruit.
Uh-huh.
I will not be showing that on this video. That might change our
Is
rating.
that what the hell that was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's a weird power from One Piece. So it's in like one episode.
Yeah, it's in like one chapter. The gimmick is, first of all, they're based on the fucking Funk Brothers, the wrestlers, the characters that use that power. It's like, my brother's real big and strong, but he's like a total Nancy. So he puts on me and I'm a big, strong Chad and get control of his body and beat people up.
I knew something unhinged would come out of handing audience the poll to decide what fruit Jinkaria would eat. I didn't quite realize how deep that horror well went.
Yeah, I knew that One Piece had weird fruit powers. I did not know about this.
The jacket fruit is... So anyways, Bob drew Jinkaria as a skin jacket enveloping Koga. So that's out there now. It'll be on the DeviantArt eventually.
Regrettably.
Maybe DeviantArt has it coming.
Maybe.
Do they still feed all the art over there into AI? I would love to just poison that with Jinkaria drawings.
I don't remember.
Can ChatGPT draw you a Jinkaria, chat? Is that possible? But yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I hadn't time, that is. I don't. Also, you know, I got to Jokerify the Hat Kid.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty great. They're just like, oh, the passport photo's bad. We're going to have to doctor this. Here you go. And you get to paint on it. And I'm like, oh, God, they have the exact right colors. I have to do this. And just slowly painted Joker makeup on. It was a good time. Anyways, aside from that, I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let me just change this so that way people who didn't want to hear about delightful 3D platformers can just hone in on, oh, they're talking about Rebirth now. Yo!
Did you get past the flashback or you in there?
I got past the flashback, but just barely because I didn't have much time.
Yeah.
You know,
it's pretty long.
When you're on a diet and exercising, that takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, a lot of meal prep time and et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, also, yeah, it's pretty long. From that opening, I can tell you, if you played 7 Remake and you know the sort of 7th gen AAA stuff that did, that thing's mostly that. So I don't know what the rest of the game's going to be like, but I'm looking forward to it. That sure is a high-fidelity game with Final Fantasy VII things and places in it.
Yes.
And that fires neurons for me. So I appreciate getting to look at the thing and go, he's reading the books.
Yes.
He's yeeting the cloud. Yeah.
Yeah, I was especially impressed with Calm. Yeah, I don't know if you have to see any
I have not gotten to Calm.
Yeah. No, it's kind of ludicrous. It's like, this is the smallest town in that game.
How
and
much
this is
did
what
you
they've done
spend
to
on
it.
this?
Right? I'm convinced this game, even if Remake didn't taste that much, this is probably like 200 million or something.
The game
No,
looks
I bet
nice.
it's
and
not.
It's got a lot of shit going on.
It has a lot of
it
assets
has a
made,
lot of
Chris.
stuff. It has a lot of assets made,
Insane.
but those NPCs stand and make weird emotionless stares at you.
What if
They don't
did-
have complicated schedules that they all follow, and you have to catch and a day and night system inexplicably.
Now I need
I think there is a
Spider-Man.
day and night system.
Yeah, but I need Spider-Man 3 to be Shenmue. Secretly just make it Shenmue.
Yes.
Everyone has a schedule. You need to figure out what they all need. But yeah,
I don't know. It probably has, because they get to reuse so much shit. I'm willing to bet it probably isn't any more expensive than the first one.
Oh no, it's definitely more expensive than the first one. Like, that is absolutely the case.
Yeah,
I don't know about 200 million, but it's definitely much more expensive than the first one.
Yeah, like it is. Once you get to the open world and see what that is, no, I don't think there's anywhere it's close to the first one.
Because yeah, Chris, you haven't played it, right?
No, I haven't.
Right. Yeah. No. There's money. There's a lot of money. What the fuck was I gonna say other than the Shenmue joke? There's something else I was going to go with. Anyways, it's really nice to, like, the way I sort of, since playing 7 Remake, sort of view these as is a really cool way to see those places and assets and things and people and stuff, like, in an insane fidelity. So far, I'm not going to talk about the plot at all, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it.
Right.
Because even just in the bit I've played, they started showing their hand. He's showing. Yeah, I don't know. I will come back next week with more things to talk about. But Bob, do you have any thoughts to deal out? Some sort of hand to show?
Yes. Since I did the first, I did Calm and I did a little bit of the open world around it.
Oh, wait, 1 second. I need to hit the world famous button. Oh, God, why is that not on the screen?
What are you doing? We can't even talk about it without this.
Provided by Square Enix.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, who knows what they would have done to us if we didn't put that in there.
Jesus, okay.
It almost has been 5 minutes. We were screwed.
They're going to sue us into oblivion, because that's right, we got a game code provided by Square Enix. Bob!
Yeah.
What were you saying?
They have the card game. They have a new card game maybe for this called Queen's Blood.
I think it's really important for Final Fantasies to have a card game or thing like a card game to do.
It is always appreciated. Like, seeing that in 8 and 9 was like, okay, now it is weird that 7 doesn't have it, so I get backporting it in.
Right. I thought it was weird that 16 didn't have a thing like that, because I had come from Horizon Forbidden West, which did have its own sort of something strike. I forget the name. Aggro, do you remember?
I think it's just Machine Strike.
Machine Strike, yeah. And I thought while playing that, I was like, oh, that's so cool that, like, this is their version of a Final Fantasy 7 minigame thing you have on the, or Final Fantasy minigame thing you have on the side. So it's really cool that they went, well, 7 was missing it, so.
Right, and they came up with a really interesting idea for a card game. Let me see how I'm going to try and describe this.
Okay.
You have 3 lanes. And you start with
this is a MOBA.
Kind of.
Checkmate.
I feel like it might be somewhat inspired by Mancala.
Okay,
which is really weird, but the idea is each lane has a point value. You add points values to that lane by putting cards in that lane. And each card lets you put more things in different lanes, so it can take more, like, give you more zones to place cards down on. And the 2 players are going from left and right, so you're on the left, the enemy's on the right all the time. So you're just trying to get the higher point value than the enemy does in that lane. So okay, you have a card that's worth 3 points, and they have one that's worth 5. They win, and they get all the points for that lane. And then at the end of the game, they add up all the lanes. And whoever gets the most points wins.
That sounds dope.
It's really interesting, and I think it's got a lot of potential. They give you like 3 opponents in the first town, and then you just... Okay, they do something insanely funny, which is very minor spoilers.
Well, do I get to play that?
No, you don't. Oh. I'm sorry. It's not enough. You get chased out of Calm really quickly. Like, they do a full, like, dropping paratroopers in to look for you. And then, like, 20 minutes later, like, yeah, they cleared out. You can go back.
Oh, all right. It's all safe.
It's all safe. But yeah, then there's even more opponents when you come back. And they have fully voiced dialogue for everything. Every single person you even play card with is fully voiced.
That's awesome. Yeah, I noticed the voice cast on this, like, out of the gate is just like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys.
Yeah, there's nothing that's only in text. I thought something was only in text, and I realized, it's supposed to come out of my controller. Right. I had that turned off.
Right, yeah.
Which freaked me out for a while until Cloud tried to respond to the guy. So, like, he heard Cloud talk, and then the other guy just not.
I've had that happen in a different game. I can't remember which one it was. Someone called me up on the walkie-talkie, and my speaker was off. So then my dude just says something to someone somewhere. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, the one time I thought it was like, oh, there's a text thing that's only text. And it was like, no, the person was on the other side of the door and started saying their line before you were in the room with them.
Yes, that does happen.
It ramps up the volume as you get closer.
You'll see the text at the bottom, and it'll do that for even random people you pass by.
Yeah,
outside.
I appreciate the thoroughness of the subtitles because we actually did run into a thing in Hat in Time where like they were making sounds and saying stuff and there were no subtitles.
Yeah, I feel like that happened like a few times in Hat in Time.
It did, yeah.
Which is surprising that even had voice acting, much less they forgot that it's a subtitle.
Right, yeah, no, that game is surprisingly budgeted.
The other thing I did with Final Fantasy VII, which I went to easy mode because I knew I just didn't enjoy the combat at all.
Right.
That has been offered no resistance, luckily.
Yeah, I was sitting there because they offer you the option out of the front, and I was sitting there mulling it for a bit, but then I saw it was like, you can change this at any time. And I'm like, okay, great. I'll just play on a normal difficulty. And if I hit a point where I'm like, I just want the story, then I'll knock it down.
But most of what I did was open world stuff, which there is a very large open world. I wasn't sure after that demo. Another thing I want to mention, that demo, it doesn't skip properly when you actually get to those parts in the game.
Dan Head's winning.
Right? Like, I felt...
Yeah, like that when I found it, well, it lets you skip a segment of the game. I'm like, that isn't going to work right.
It's so funny because it should. Like,
it could have actually,
that part of the game is fully segmented off perfectly to have skipped all of it. For some reason, it only lets you skip half of it. So you still have to do all of the like really weird just walking around town stuff, which is neat the first time, but you never want to do it again.
Right,
That is
yeah.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a weird part of it to not skip.
Yeah, and then they make you redo other parts where it's just a very slow, like forced...
like 7th gen AAA,
AAA,
like,
you're wounded,
on a
walk
ledge
slow.
and you're wounded, or you're, yeah. Which there is a lot of that in the opening. I assume the rest of the game does not. It couldn't possibly pack it that densely.
It's not as much, at least in Calm.
Yeah.
There's one part where it's like, you need to sneak, and like, now Cloud will switch to the crouch stance, which means he walks slower than God. Okay, that doesn't work.
No, none of that worked.
But yeah, he walks insanely slow. Your movement speed goes down to like a quarter, and you have to walk a very long way.
Did Zael Poro like drug him or something? Is that what happened?
Yes, definitely.
That could be it. I did not play Intergrade.
Okay.
Now, I haven't played 7 Remake since launch. I feel like I'm missing something for the very opening of this game, but that could be throwing it forward to later in this game. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
I was 50-50 on that.
Because that lines up with some of the stuff at the very end of 7 Remake, but nothing in Intergrade about that.
Okay. Okay.
Also, I found out something interesting why I've always been confused on the name of Intergrade.
Why?
It's called the mission itself that you play as Yuffie
Yeah.
is Intermission. The download upgrade for the game, Final Fantasy VII Remake, is Intergrade.
Yes.
That's why I keep calling it Intermission, and everyone's like, no, that's wrong. I was like, no, it's the part where I play as Yuffie.
I think you can buy the Intergrade update was free. But if you wanted the Yuffie thing, you had to buy that separately. I think that's how the upgrade path worked on this, where if you had it on PS4, they just give you the PS5 version. And they call it Intergrade. But if you wanted Yuffie, that was DLC.
And I think they did that via for the digital version.
Right.
I think the disc version they said go fuck yourself, which was fine for me. I bought it digitally anyway.
I don't think they told you to go fuck yourself.
Okay.
I think that my disc version worked like that.
Okay.
And I think that now they are selling on the store the PS5 version just called Intergrade, and it comes with the Yuffie one.
Oh,
I think that's how.
That was the PS. If you bought the PS5 version when it came out, like you didn't own it, and you bought that PS5 version when it came out, it came with Yuffie.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, seeing all of that as I downloaded this demo or the full game, so I could actually transfer my save data to this new version because it detects it. And it's like, hey, here's a summon. I finally saw why I had been so confused on the naming scheme of this.
Did you get both materials because it's Leviathan, I think, in Ramu?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't play the Integrate, so I only got Leviathan. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Ramu's cool.
Ramu is cool.
I wonder if he's still attainable just later. I can't remember what the phrasing was.
I would assume.
Maybe.
I would assume, but maybe not. Because if they didn't do that, then you would assume they did the same thing with Leviathan. And if this game didn't have Leviathan, I think people would be upset. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I feel like Ramu's way more important than Leviathan.
You're correct, but
Okay.
they're both, we can have two kings. We don't.
You say that, but Leviathan is in almost every Final Fantasy game, and Ramu sometimes gets replaced with the bird,
It's true.
Yeah.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yep, it's infuriating
Yeah.
because Ramu fucking rules.
That's true. Ramu
fucking
does
rule.
rule.
I also like Quetzalcoatl, so I'm really stuck in the middle here of like, you're going to be sad.
I never liked Quetzalcoatl because in Final Fantasy VIII they give the summons like the party member profile picture when you get them. Quetzalcoatl is so weird looking. He just looks like some weird amoeba.
One moment.
What?
I swear I know what you're talking about. Quetzalcoatl. Good luck spelling that, Dan. Oh, nightmare. FF8.
Sound it out.
Like he doesn't look like a bird at all. He looks like some weird sea life.
Yeah, no, it rules.
Yeah.
This shit whips. That's that's a version of him I really like.
It's like I don't know what this thing is. It should die.
Amoeba. Yeah, I don't know. Look at that. It's Aggro's new friend.
That looks like I had a weird nightmare about Lugia.
Yeah, okay.
Pokemon. He's playing a bootleg Pokemon that's Pokemon Silver and Gold.
He's coming to kick my ass like Rayquaza.
Wait, I can actually.
Yeah.
There he
This
goes.
is like, this is reminding me that old Achewood comic. I don't know if anybody has ever read Achewood but me. The web comic about the creatures of indeterminate origin that at some point were house cats and then became like weird human entities.
Yeah.
Or it's like we hacked our friend's computer to see what he's doing, and he made a picture of Mount Everest his background. All he was doing was making a picture of Mount Everest his background, and then getting a picture of a motorcycle on Google and shrinking the window around it real small and dragging it over the mountain on his desktop.
Jesus.
So, anyways, yeah, it would be a real shame if Ramu wasn't in the game normally just because I
would.
didn't play the Yuffie stuff. Could I just boot it?
I think you can just boot it.
And
I don't
then
think it
since
wants
you own it,
Yeah,
I could just
yeah,
boot it on
it's
your
true.
PS5.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's not like go beat it.
Right.
I'm genuinely considering like just stopping my remake playthrough and doing that Yuffie DLC and then going into Rebirth when I go into Rebirth, because I still have like 10 hours of remake left.
Oof.
And it's like, okay, I understand the mechanics better now. I don't know if I really need to see the rest of the game again.
Yeah, plus the last 10 hours of that game really get burned into your brain, I feel like. I feel like you're probably not forgetting anything there. I bet it was just the rest of it where you probably blanked.
Yeah, I probably didn't forget any segments, but it's so overwritten by the original game, which I have played easily 30 times.
Right.
So it's just like whenever I try to remember anything from remake, it's like the original. Like, no, give me the remake. It's like, no. It's being uncooperative like Google search now.
God,
It's like, well, here's the memories you revisit most. I'm like, no, I don't want those. I want the similar ones that are different and more recent. And it's like, but you played Final Fantasy VII Original 3 times since remake came out. I'm like, fuck.
There's a review of Super Dodgeball on the NES done by Jeremy Parrish, where he's like, by the way, did you know dodgeball as a sport it evolved out of a sport African tribes played where they threw stones at each other? It's true. Also, did you know Google feeds AI-generated bullshit into its search queries nowadays? And there is no historical evidence of the shit I just said?
Oh my god. That's rough.
Yeah, I was like, God, this is how bad it's getting.
So, this is a segue to something almost completely different, but I have to bring it up now because it reminded me.
Yeah.
You know how we rag on FSR and temporal AA and frame generation? I realized what's finally going to kill that shit.
Huh.
It's going to upscale a black guy into a white guy.
If NVIDIA did that on accident, I would lose it.
Like that picture where somebody has it upscale a really low res Obama picture and it turns him white. Like that will happen to a character in a game.
I have not seen that. Oh my god.
Oh, let me get it.
Oh my god.
You know, sometimes living in a horrible cyberpunk dystopia has its bright spots.
Jesus.
Like some game is gonna have fucking this done to it by upscaling, and we'll just all be, oh, that technology maybe not so good.
God.
Ooh.
Yeah. Jesus. There's a lot. You got it.
It's gonna do that to Barrett.
I feel like it'll be a Ubisoft game that fucks it up somehow. They have a really bad reputation with that kind of thing.
Oh my god! Don't write Obama Howard into chat. He didn't look that much like Todd Howard. Oh my god! What the fuck were you doing?
I can talk more about the
Sure, yeah. That's
the open world's very big. It has a lot of stuff in it that you expect from an open world game. Like you got towers to unlock and show you all the things you can go to in that area.
When you get the tower and you unlock it, does Cloud say a thing? Does he have like a catchphrase that he says?
He doesn't seem to. I think it's usually Chadley calling you out, being like, "Thanks, Cloud."
Of course, of course, Chadley is the antenna on which the open world mechanics strike.
Yes, he will talk to you about every open world activity you do.
Oh, Chadley.
And then he has...
I cannot imagine Cloud climbing like a Ubisoft tower, because then I'm inundated with the image of him Altair diving off of the side, doing the tuck flip and landing on his Buster Sword with this enormous clang as his spine turns to powder.
Luckily, there have been ladders. And not haystacks to jump into.
Well, I mean, he's got to get down really fast. How does he do it?
We'll see. We'll see if they make the towers taller, because right now they've been like one story off the ground.
Oh, that's barely a tower.
Right?
That's just a normal building.
But they have a big pole that goes up.
Oh, okay.
You find owls to chase in the world that were kind of like the Ghost of Tsushima foxes you chase.
Oh,
to
dope.
Take you to something.
That's cool. I love that.
And they take you to Mako crystals that form.
Yeah, because it forms materia and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you scan him for Chadley, and he's like, "Thank you, Cloud."
I hope that's the exact energy. Thank you, Cloud. We will never talk about this. Send me the images.
And then you have Chadley's assistant, who's an AI that looks like Femme Chadley.
Excuse me, Chadley comes in two genders?
Yes, that's why I said when I played the demo last week or 2 weeks ago. And she talks to you when you do the combat challenges that are in the open world. Which I had that speaker off for a long while, so I didn't know how much she talked. She will just keep going while you are fighting the monsters. Like, oh man, you better get them. You gotta hit their weak points, Cloud. You gotta do this, Cloud. I'm like, oh my god, what is this?
Cloud, their kind hates ice and fire both.
Yes, it felt like that.
Cloud, wolves hunt in packs.
There's also like full side quests that have real cutscenes, some low budget, some high budget, in the open world.
Oh. You mean it isn't a tool generated reverse shot where characters play emotes at each other?
Yeah. It is that sometimes, but not always.
Which I would like to point out.
It's okay sometimes.
Right? I feel like the overly defensive fans of Square Enix expected us to hate this game as much as 16. It's like, guys, no, there's money here. This game runs at 60.
Yeah.
Basically nonstop.
Yeah, even in the open world is doing it.
Oh, that's so good to hear after 16 was so spongy.
Yeah, and like 16 also looks way more blurry.
Yeah.
You know? This game looks immaculately better than 16.
It's almost like Unreal Engine is a better engine than the weird fucked up version of Crystal tools they use to make Final Fantasy 16 with.
At very least, at running the type of game they're both trying to be. Because I bet there's a type of game you can make with that Crystal Tools engine or whatever that just runs great.
Yeah, it's
16 wasn't it.
It's hard to even say that they're the same type of game. 16 is so far removed from an open world. Even though it pretends it is.
It's got like really big areas.
16 is designed like an MMO. Like in every level, it is designed like the early parts of Final Fantasy 14 that the team worked on. Like it's an immediate step from that. Like it's the same thing. It's like how we keep talking about, these studios get pegged to make a game they've never made before and then just try and shoehorn their experience into the new genre, and it usually doesn't work out.
Yeah. Ugh. God. Are we at a point where Suicide Squad is the poster child for that forever? Because it was so... The pedigree of the studio was so high, and the bomb was so big.
Right. I think
it's going to be hard to supplant.
It's going to be hard to supplant, yeah. Especially now that apparently, this is getting into news, but I'll just say it here because it's so small. Sony seems to be giving Cyberpunk 77 tier. We'll refund it.
Oh yeah, for Suicide Squad. Yeah, I saw that, and I was sad because we bought it on disc and you traded it in the next day. Right?
It seemingly hasn't worked online for like over a month.
Right?
Like they fucked it up like really early after it launched and just haven't been able to fix it since.
Wow. And I hadn't even heard about it.
Yeah, no, everybody quit fucking playing it.
Right?
I think it's been long enough, and technically it's still what we're talking about,
true.
so I have to hit the button again.
Game code provided by Square Enix.
But yeah, I love that the game runs really smooth. I love that it's a lot more responsive feeling than 16. I am imagining the game past the opening few hours of really 7th gen AAA stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a great time, and for now I'm just enjoying seeing these things in this completely batshit fidelity.
Yeah,
like every cutscene looks immaculate.
It is crazy. Something I don't think I brought up when we played the demo that you probably seen by now. They stab people and black smoke doesn't come out.
Yeah, that's
Thank
helpful.
God. Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God. I had a feeling that would be gone because multiple people were like, there's blood in that Yuffie thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that Yuffie thing was already a step towards that, but oh man.
Right.
That was like the thing I disliked the most about 7 Remake. It's like, man, come on. I'd rather there be nothing than smoke.
Yeah,
I'd rather you do like the TV editing of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where it's black.
Yeah, it's just blackness.
Oh! Yeah, no, that would be really funny. I've been having a really good time with the game, and so far, I'll have to play the whole thing to figure it out. I like the soundtrack more than I liked some of 7 Remake soundtracks.
I was not going to say the same thing. I've been a lot more positive on the soundtrack because you might remember I was pretty disappointed in the soundtrack of Remake. I thought it didn't live up to what it should have, and this feels like so far it is. Every remix feels way better, and it feels like there's more.
And I know people remembering shit we said on podcasts 4 years ago is an absolute stretch when you can hear a podcast right now and in 10 minutes misportray or misremember what we said.
Yes.
But I like a lot of 7 Remake's soundtrack, but I don't think, like you were saying, it's as good as 7 Originals, or more importantly, I think some of the songs are they're kind of like losing it in the mix. It feels a little over-compressed. It feels too dubstep, and this is from a guy who likes some dubstep. There are some things that just didn't really land with that soundtrack, I think, towards the end, personally. But this one, I'm really enjoying the songs. I expect, by the end, probably like it more than 7 Remake soundtrack overall, even, just because the direction and the way they're taking it so far has been really good. Like the way the cutscenes weave the music, hints of Genova theme mixed into a horror stab here and other things like that. I'm like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah, it feels like so much more on point.
Yeah,
than last time. Also, open world. They just play the overworld theme. They're willing to play music the entire time you explore an open world.
Nice.
So many games fuck that up.
I don't get it. It's like, don't you want to wander a large open space with no music? And I'm like, no, I've never once had that desire. Forspoken did a thing where it would have battle music, and then when you come out of the battle music, it would just play the most like, okay, we need to slowly lull them back into the open world theme. And I'm like, no, you need to play any music because these 2 instruments going for a minute here sucks.
Oh yeah, sometimes during those cheaper cutscenes, there'll be, main cast members that are in the cutscene, and other ones that aren't. Other ones that are just, they're in the open world, so they are there. So they just disassociate in the background.
That's great.
That's realistic.
That is realistic.
So it was great just seeing like.
Are you telling me Aerith won't zone out?
Right.
Sure, that girl's never zoned out and stared into space for 15 minutes.
Aerith is thinking about a dog she saw on Twitter yesterday.
I think that the most of the times that happened was the funniest with Aerith of it's like, oh, Cloud and Tifa talking to this bartender, and then she's just looming behind them.
No, that's great.
And another one where you stealthily sneak into a place as Cloud, and then it spawns your entire party in that place, and Aerith is just standing there upright, not sneaking at all, just in the window.
She's just like, what's up? What are we doing? Yeah, there was only one weird thing that's happened so far in the cutscenes, which was so funny. I bet you probably all had this happen to you, but nobody noticed it. In the opening thing, I believe it's during while the village is on fire, but it may be during a different part of that. The camera is very closely focused on the main character, which I'm not going to say which. Oh yeah, it wasn't during that part. It was during the other part, timeline-wise, of the intro. In the background, there's just an NPC literally walking into a wall, just sideways, just do in place, just. And the camera whip is so fast. I'm like, no one noticed that but me. It's just some person walking into a wall in the background because of the emotion of the scene and how immaculate everything looks. It was so funny to have happen.
Yeah, one thing that happens during that super slow walk and be hurt segment, which I thought was very strange that they ended up in there. They have like a house burning down.
Yeah.
The doors explode open. A guy runs out panicking. And then he's like, he's still right in front of you.
We got to talk. 1 sec. Burning piles of wood. And this man's supposed to be having a mental breakdown. Or like, oh no, the town is burning. And he kneels right in front of the wood like he would burst into flames. He is that close. I'm like, what do you dude, there are better places to mourn.
Yeah, no, he did, like before he even does the kneeling part though, he stands straight, like rigidly up.
Oh.
Just for like a whole second, and then he goes into the kneeling animation. I'm like,
yeah, it was a little weird.
It was weird. It's very off compared to most other things in this, which seem insanely high budget.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's kind of why those moments stand out so much, because everything else is like a super immaculate, like, oh my god, how did you get this running at 60 even sort of thing. Which, thank you. I don't need resolution as much as I need frame rate.
Yeah.
They also have those really neat team-up attacks, which you could do between Sephiroth and Cloud on their famous mission together that they totally did.
Yes, absolutely.
And those,
where they
like,
kiss.
Yeah, where they kiss, and then he calls them good job, Fox boy, and like Sephiroth has the fox ears, and he goes, "Kumph."
And then the Cloud goes woof woof, and yeah.
You all remember that one. Anyways, yeah, those look immaculate and are a really cool idea. It was really funny when they're like, this is the big bad guy of this little mission you're doing. And I'm like, it's weak to fire Sephiroth Firaga now. Anyway. Did you have anything else you wanted to cover before we move on?
I don't think so. I think that's most... Oh, yeah. Other good thing that they did in the open world. On a Chocobo, you could do pretty much all the open world tasks. So you can...
Good.
Like...
You can, like,
fantastic.
pick things up?
Yes, you can pick things up.
Oh, thank God.
You can... when you get to a Chocobo stop, those are the fast travel points. You have to like pull up a sign, and they can do that from the Chocobo. And Chocobo just grabs it with his foot and pulls it up.
Oh, that's great.
great.
So many people fuck that up.
And one other thing about the open world, there are some areas that have like, this is a named location that has like it's a blown out building or something. And if you're near it, it'll be like, there are 2 treasures here. And you'll just have like, okay, so I know in this zone, I need to look for 2 treasure chests.
Cool.
I'm like, oh, thank God.
That's
because I would never find these.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like knowing how many of a thing you're supposed to find. Do you pick up herbs for your stash?
Yes. But he doesn't say that, luckily, and Chadley doesn't say it either. But you have a device that lets you turn random herbs and junk you find on the ground into items, like potions and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so you just have a menu go into, and then the more stuff you make, that thing levels up.
Oh,
and lets you make better potions and better equipment.
Oh, that
even.
sounds like the
sick.
alchemy pot from Dragon Quest VIII.
It is.
Yeah.
It also has a party level, which lets you unlock more skill tree stuff for each character.
Ooh.
So you upgrade the party level seemingly by doing mostly open world activities. I'm like, that's neat. That's a neat idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you gotten to do any like the double techs yet?
No.
Oh.
Hey, you remember that part where Cloud was level 40 years before he was level 15?
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
I also remember
Wonder
the
what's
part
up
where
with
he was
that
level 50, like 2 days before the expansion or before this game started.
Man, this guy
nobody-
peaked early.
He did.
Nobody got to level 50 but me. And I did it by kind of cheating.
I'm pretty sure I also did it because I wanted to actually beat that final endgame boss.
Yeah, he did come back and do a lot of the post-game stuff. I remember because I was like, I have no interest, and I watched Bob do that.
Right.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, I just had no interest in that.
Yeah, no,
I didn't find
you're
it
better
fun.
off doing
Yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah.
I think that was a
Dan's
Not a
new
good
way of
thing.
gaming, as in 4-year-old way of gaming. Hey, if I'm not having fun, why do it?
right.
So anyways, I will continue playing 7 Rebirth off stream by myself because chat, apparently, if I try to stream this, you'll force me to play Sunshine. I hit a button on the fucking Mario Marathon. It's 7 Rebirth.
Jesus.
It's like 8 hours into the game and you're just doing random side content, and it's like, no, this is where I am.
I'm sorry. This is what's happening. They're like, never mind, go back to Mario 64. And I'm like, oh, you guys usually
Well,
don't
that's
want to
still-
watch me play Mario 64.
Well, that's still fine. They're like, go back to Sunshine.
And then I scream. Yeah, I guess I'll hit this button one more time.
Game code provided by Square Enix.
And then we'll move on. Bob, did you play anything else?
I did play a few other things. I also ate something interesting today.
Well, one moment. Let me change this to what we've been eating. What did you eat, Bob?
A local Chinese place had a egg roll Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, fuck me.
That was good.
Why did you not buy me one?
You're on a diet.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's... God damn it. I'm glad it was great.
Yeah. No, it was like, oh yeah, they put like their steak and some cheese sauce in here and it works out. Like, I was surprised. I thought that might just go horribly, but nah. They had a good egg roll wrapper too. It wasn't one of those weird, overly flaky ones, so it was a good crunchy one.
No reason. I'm just going to take my break from the podcast right now.
I'm sorry. That's all you had to say, even, so I have to move on.
Let's try moving on with the wrong text on screen.
Sorry, chat. I also played a little bit more Unicorn Overlord. I still have like an hour and a half left in that demo because I didn't want to use it all up in case I got like a craving before tomorrow was out.
Yeah, that would be terrible. What a state of affairs that would be.
Yeah, Aggro. I hope no one did that. That'd just be real stupid. I did not expect angels just to be a real thing in that universe we have to live with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just find one, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm here with orders from the Father." I'm like, "Okay, is this like God, or is there like a pope you work for? What exactly is happening?"
Look, all we know is that there are people with wings associated with a church who are telling us they work for God.
Gee, I wonder who the villains of this game is.
I don't know. She's gonna join your party if I can get her enough crystals.
Did you let her kill that guy?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. This guy's story's lining up with the other guy's story. They might not be lying, and he seems
Right?
fine.
Like, fuck that first guy, but this guy, this smells like a plot I want to see.
Did you kill the first guy?
No, but I threw his ass in jail.
Okay.
Oh, did you not?
No, I let him go. I was like, this might
Like,
work out.
The very next thing is like 2 guys busting him out of jail and him swearing revenge on you.
Well, I'm glad I didn't show him in jail then.
So we're going to see how that goes.
That reminds me of a quest from The Witcher 2, which was the moment when it's the quest that convinced me The Witcher 2 is different from every other RPG I ever played, where you find this elf woman who's going to be executed for working with the elven rebels, because elves are real fucking mistreated in The Witcher. She's like, no, please don't kill me. I'm not a spy for them. I was forced to do this by this guy. I can show you where I met him, and you can exonerate me, and you can be like, nah, kill her, fucker, or you can be like, okay, let's go prove her innocence. She leads you into an ambush. And then she still goes, no, I didn't know they were going to ambush you. Oh no, let's keep going. Trust me, please. And if you trust her again, she leads you into a bigger ambush that she herself attacks you during.
Jeez.
I mean, at that point, you just defeat that ambush and like, oh, no, I believe you. Let's keep going.
No, she's dead. You kill her.
You'd think after the first ambush, she would let them ambush you again, but leave. Because she could see what you could do.
Yeah, she's, a revolutionary. It's so funny how anybody in The Witcher picks a fight with a Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this dude took a bunch of drugs to make him superhuman and can cast magic, which nobody's supposed to be able to do other than women, and fights things that can bench press a car. Why are you squaring up against him with daggers?
No, I got this. I'd simply win.
What are we talking about?
The Witcher 2.
Why are we talking about The Witcher 2?
Technically, it was Unicorn Overlord at first.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about side quests where you either choose if someone lives or dies.
Okay, I now get exactly why we're talking about The Witcher 2.
But yeah, I'm starting to feel that Unicorn Overlord might be written that way of like, no, you should always spare everyone. There are no repercussions. But we'll see.
Damn, that's good coffee. I got my cold brew thing.
Nice.
Yeah. I think did I talk about this on prior weeks? I may have just talked about it on stream.
It might have been on stream. I don't remember.
Oxo makes a cold brew maker. It's pretty tall, about this big. Let's say that big thing. The upper chamber is like metal mesh filter in between, and you just stick a carafe that looks like a science beaker underneath it. Pour the grinds in, pour the water in, leave it on top, and then after they say 12 hours, fuck them. 11 hours, you flip the switch down and it will just slowly drain into the carafe underneath. That is good coffee.
Nice.
I'm going to have to get that coffee grinder so that way we can complete the Dan Coffee Fanatic Chainsaw Man podcast arc.
Another really funny thing in Unicorn Overlord.
Yeah.
The beginning of this mission where it lets you just kind of have open world free reign for where to go and what to do is like, oh, your priestess has been kidnapped. You need to go save her. But we don't have enough forces yet to do this. So you go around to other camps recruiting people and whatnot. So I'm doing that. And then every 2 or 3 missions, the main character's like, man, why aren't we saving her? What am I doing? And I'm like, do I have the option of going to save her now? Is that what this is about? Or is it just he's having
that's a really good
panic attack?
That's a really good mechanic though, to just be like, hey, remember there's a story, maybe do that. I wish Horizon did that more.
Yes.
That would have been really good.
It's always funny to acknowledge no, there's pressing matters. She is kidnapped. Maybe don't go get
Machine
the third
strike?
witches?
Queen blood? What?
And the other thing I've been playing, Princess Peach Showtime had a demo come out last night.
Showtime!
So I gave that a
Is
shot.
that game good?
Correct.
That's about what I thought.
Yeah.
It ain't bad.
Did you also play it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that it gets good later.
I'm not confident it's going to be much different.
Yeah, everything I saw just made me look like this looks a lot more low rent than this is a tier of Nintendo that mostly didn't exist on the Switch. Everything felt hot. This feels like a Kirby Star Allies tier experience.
I did feel Kirby-esque. Like I said, I wouldn't call this game bad, but it is definitely for younger audiences easy.
Derogatory.
I mean, some of that cake decorating was not easy to do.
That's true. The cake decorating I had more fun with than the actual combat.
That sounds awesome. I want to decorate a cake.
But what bugged me more is how, like, not gameplay focused it is. It will be like, okay, walk through this thing and have NPCs talk to you in chat in text boxes a lot. So I'm hoping that's just this first couple levels are like that, and that's them introducing the mechanics, and then they just let me play the game.
No, I really think that's probably just going to be the vibe. It's a big spectacle thing.
Maybe. We'll see. Also, it runs at 30 and drops frames a lot.
Well, yeah,
but it's okay because the perfect dodging for witch time has an enormous window.
It does.
All the enemies and bosses that have big attacks, they'll telegraph the attack, they'll do the attack, it'll hit the ground, and the yellow circle will sweep out around it. And if you hit the jump button while that yellow circle is on screen, slow-mo will activate and you will Sandevistan over to the enemy and jump on them.
Yeah, unless you're too close. I found out, like, I was standing too close to the enemy so she wouldn't do it, and I actually died there. I was like, what's happening?
Oh my god.
Yeah, they designed it in a way that's like, no, you should be just hanging back completely out of the way of the attack so the dodge it wouldn't even be necessary, but you will let you kill them. The dodge also feels kind of like Metroid Other M.
God damn it, I knew he was going to say that. Like, don't.
Because it's another one of those games where, like, we don't want to use more than 2 buttons, so it's mapped to your other buttons.
Why do they keep doing it? I don't know.
For some reason, ZR and ZL are used to pose.
Are we going to find out, like, that dude at Nintendo who was handling Metroid is now making this? They just trust me with their strong female characters. They shouldn't.
Yeah, that's the last thing they should do.
You're the last guy I would trust with them.
There's also the Patissier Peach that we got to play as, where we decorate the cakes. And that was neat because they had different ways of doing it. Like the first thing, you're making cookies, and you have to mash the cookie make button. But don't mash it too much because then it'll overinflate the dough. And you have to stop it just in time when there's like 3 different cookie making stations, and you need to like go to the ones that have helpers at it because those make more cookies. And it was a kind of fun mini game. And then the one where you decorate a cake, and the cake is like gigantic, and Peach is on a swing above it with the frosting.
A huge piping bag.
Yeah, huge piping bag of frosting.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to match the designs on the big cake to the like picture of it you have on the side.
I was going to make that joke earlier when he was like, it was kind of hard to decorate the cake. And I'm like, oh my God, are we doing the make Mario's face?
Yes.
Look, sometimes the cake is spinning and you have to make like very specific shapes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cake is spinning.
Sometimes in life, Dan, the cake is spinning.
It happens. How are we going to find all the gamers in this room?
I don't know.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, what was that? I couldn't hear you. Hey, Nintendo, make a cooking game. Just a game about cooking, please. People love food. They love cooking. No one else will make the AAA cooking video game. Will you please fucking do it already?
Edgar, how do you feel about the Theets? They are the creatures that inhabit the theater.
How do you spell that?
Theet.
Theets.
Yeah,
Like
it's
theater,
very
yeah.
unfortunate.
I can't hear it without thinking. Are we debating shonen anime now, or discussing a character's feats? Like, are we power scaling Princess Peach now?
I think that these things in and of themselves are design neutral, but represent a missed opportunity to use Shy Guys.
Yeah, they do just seem too plain. Like there's these Go ahead.
Do you ever think about how bizarrely similar the Mario universe is to Star Trek the original series, where like each area has a culture entirely devoted to one thing? Like, when are we gonna visit the Mario world that's just Soviet Russia somehow?
It feels like that should have shipped on the Game Boy in 1992.
I was going to say, like, was that not one of the Game Boy levels?
It feels like something that would be in a Wario Game Boy game, yeah.
Okay, breaking news. Breaking news. One moment. Did you know? This is literally, this came out 20 minutes ago. You can get a Posh Chocobo summoning materia code for 7 Rebirth when you order Popeye's Buffalo Ranch menu items on DoorDash. Dash Pass members only.
Man,
This is so specific. I can't even just order Popeyes?
no.
Square Enix has gone fucking insane with these bizarre brand tie-ins. I certainly hope they're getting a good rate.
I mean,
because it's like
they've been there. We did the Butterfinger thing 4 years ago.
Yeah, and the Butterfinger thing came returned.
They're doing the Butterfinger thing. They're doing this. They fucking are with Insomnia Cookies, the cookie chain that'll deliver you fucking cookies and milk. They're doing that. At least in Japan, all those weird, like the udon thing is pretty normal.
I feel
but
like
it's so much.
I feel like this has been where Square's been since 15. 15 had a bunch of weird marketing stuff, even integrated into the content.
But yeah, they do that. I don't know if it actually makes any fiscal sense.
I feel like it has to.
Hopefully.
I'm sure it moved. I'm sure. Well, the thing about the point of all marketing is to make people who will buy your thing aware it exists.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm sure from that angle, it's probably effective. It's probably certainly more fucking effective than paying for ads on any website ever.
Yeah, isn't that bizarre? That it's like, yeah, put it in a fast food chain's DoorDash menu, and that will hit more eyes than basically any website, except for Twitch, because Twitch pre-rolls ads on every stream.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an ad blocker, you're seeing it there at least. Whereas I feel like
you'll see Twitch ads even with an ad blocker. I think they've
that's right.
managed to fuck them all over.
Which, to be clear, my stance on this has always been, I don't care if you block those ads. I do care if you support us in any way. Like even $1 a year gets us more than ads ever do.
Right.
So thanks. We had for the longest time an executive producer for the channel, still do, who's like, no, I block ads everywhere, but I'll give you $50 a month.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, because of course that actually means something.
Oh yeah, no, both of those have more of an apparent impact on our lives. They don't watch ads. We get to live.
Mm-hmm.
Hooray! Get to live and order buffalo menu items from Popeye's Chicken.
It doesn't even sound like a good thing to order from Popeyes.
DoorDash Dash Pass. I actually have no idea. Are the buffalo items good? Does anyone know? Does anyone?
I mean, they have good chicken, so maybe it'll work.
Yeah, they have excellent
They wouldn't
chicken.
be my first thing to order at Popeyes.
Yeah, I would just get the normal chicken sandwich. Right now, having had to deal with Bob describe what might be one of the most delicious sounding things ever, a Philly cheesesteak egg roll, I feel like I would order at least 2 of the chicken sandwich. Louis Vuitton Lightning was pretty weird too. That's true. That did happen, and I was 13. So I think that was 13-3.
Okay.
Pretty sure that was.
What is it?
Louis Vuitton, the purse company?
Oh.
Yeah, the prestigious.
Oh, don't they keep doing promotions with them? I feel like Kingdom Hearts
they did
3
keep
had that.
doing that. Yeah, no, that's right. Kingdom Hearts 3 also had some fashion stuff.
Yeah, they had some really high-end fashion stuff.
Square
like
is into this. They're into this.
Didn't they have one Final Fantasy 15 car made? It's like you can't buy it, but we had it made.
I think that's right.
This one, Rebirth was doing some sort of car tie-in thing. What was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that like last week. I don't remember what it was.
Here's the thing: all these car tie-in, vehicle tie-ins, they all kneel before the Chad one that is the Jeep that said Modern Warfare 3 on it, because your vehicle got to be relevant twice.
Apparently, they made a Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth Porsche.
Oh my god!
All right.
The hell are we talking? Anyway, Princess Peach Showtime is what we're according to the stream.
Yes, Princess Peach Showtime. I'm hopeful that it'll be better later, but I don't think I'll want to pay for it at all to get there and check, because this demo was not fun.
When they showed all the costumes and they were like, I'm sorry, but the costumes in this game really come off like Princess Peach went to Party City.
Yeah,
but that's fun,
right? Like that aspect of it works.
I expected like them to be more like them to have any element of they're personalized to Princess Peach, but it really seems like she grabbed them off the rack. Like that's the energy I get from all of them, where they're not hitting on the level they should, I think.
At least each one seems like the gameplay will be wildly different. Like they show one of them turns into a flying shooter. We talked about how the patissier one, you make the cakes.
Right.
So at least we're going to have different gameplay mechanics that might make them more enjoyable. And my main thing is hopefully they get less tutorial feeling after the first world.
Yeah, I just wish this game was as obvious a slam dunk as Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
that's what I was hoping for.
People day mined it, and it's being made by Goodfield, the guys who did like the Yoshi Crafted World and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Wait. So, Aggro, are you gonna pick this game up?
I.
Oh no! You know what that means, right?
What's that?
We're all sexist.
Oh no!
No.
Oh no!
I don't think even the most deranged person to ever live would claim that. I feel like they were like, no, I played that fucking Princess Peach game on DS. No.
Nintendo's gonna have to put down Peach because the gamer sexists wouldn't buy Princess Peach Showtime.
Actually, we're very progressive for not buying a game that pigeonholes a woman into dressing up as her main power.
Oh, they should have made a Princess Daisy game, and she doesn't put on the costume. She just gets more ripped and deals with things like that.
I mean,
Saved you
it should have been a
video
Princess.
games. How'd you get here?
I was going to say it should have been a Princess Daisy game because the first thing that happens is she gets a ponytail, and I'd be down for that.
I feel like the Princess Daisy sweep is coming now that she's a real character because they put her in Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
She's been like promoted.
I figured it out. The peak Daisy game. It's just Ashura's Wrath. She's just fucking pissed and destroying shit nonstop. The whole game. And then we're freezing on her punching in order to do the title card end drop. Jesus.
I don't think that's right because she shouldn't be pissed. She should just be deranged.
So God Hand.
Yes, I feel like that's closer.
Anyways, I'm sure after Princess Peach Showtime, the next one, that'll be the Daisy game.
Obviously.
Did you play anything else?
No, I guess that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. That was everything.
I mean, we played A Hat in Time and Sonic Adventure, so we had two big streams.
Right.
Kind of big, not really, but what do you know? Hey Chris, what you been playing?
Oh, I did my birthday donathon streams. We hit every single goal. Thank you all so much for the unbelievable support. But the first thing we started with is I had to play 5 hours of Bart's Nightmare.
5 hours?
Or until I beat it, which I did not. I did not beat it. I came so fucking. I beat it spiritually because I got a B+.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you got a B+. That fucking counts.
Yeah, that's like that's a passing grade in any U.S. education system.
Mm-hmm. That game it's a lot better than Virtual Bart. A lot better because it has mechanics you can learn. Learning them was stroke inducing. Where it's like, well, you want to jump over the fish because if you jump over the fish 3 times, you get to continue.
Okay. Does it have any like thing that would let you know maybe you should keep jumping over the fish?
It puts a pillow up on the HUD and you get 3 pillows.
Oh,
and that's a continue. When you die, it respawns you instantly with full health.
He doesn't know about the 3 pillows.
So here's how Bart's Nightmare works. You have a hub world that is a never-ending street. Your health is measured by Z's inside a bracket. There are blue Z's and red Z's that float around on the screen. And to get more health, you spit bubblegum, which is a resource. You have to collect bubblegum from killing enemies. Or rather, one specific enemy, which is the only type of enemy that gives you anything. You spit the bubble, and it comes into contact with a blue Z. The blue Z will float straight up. And if it floats straight up into the bracket, it becomes more health.
Oh, but if you miss the bracket, you don't get it.
Yes.
My God.
Now, luckily, somebody told me, if you hold Y, your control switches to the bubble, and you can control it with the D-pad. That is game changing. That is game changing because that also means you can Carl Clover the bubble as you progress. So you can keep it with you a long time until something pops it. Red Z's will pop it, and any of the human enemies will pop it. So that's how you get health. You also get Watermelon Siege, which are only really useful for two things. One is to chase the bullies away, because the bullies are by far the most dangerous thing in the game. They just grab you and start walking and slowly drain your health, and you can't do shit.
I hate it so much.
The only thing you can do is hope that you run into a Lisa Tooth Fairy who will turn them into rats, and then you're free. But more likely, they'll just drain all your health and you die.
Why does the Lisa Tooth Fairy turn them into rats?
The Lisa Tooth Fairy will turn you into a frog if you end up under her. So it's just if the bullies end up under her, she'll turn them into rats.
This shit makes as much sense as Number Wang.
Well, it's like how Lisa will turn you into a frog, and the old lady will turn you back with a kiss.
Oh my God. That's totally normal.
But you need the watermelon seeds to get rid of the bullies. You also can use it to shoot a very rare TV enemy, which will instantly spawn a page, which is important because you have to wander around until a page decides to show itself, and then you can jump on the page and actually enter a level.
And that's why I can't stand this game.
Uh-huh.
And you can go long amounts of time without finding a page.
Yeah, I seem to have terrible luck, and it takes forever so many times. What a terrible game.
There might be something with the way the trees are blowing dictate what direction you should be going to find a page, but I don't know. That didn't seem to matter. But here are the levels. First of all, this has less levels than Virtual Bart. It only has 5.
Well, I mean, they had to make this whole hub, so obviously.
There is the Bartman level where it's a shooter where you have a slingshot. It's not especially difficult. The hardest thing about it is there is one part where you have to fly through toxic clouds and rockets shoot up at you. And if you get hit by a rocket, the damage will send you down into the cloud where you die instantly.
Oh.
But you actually get lives in that one. You get 3 lives.
Wow.
And lots of things drop lives. So 2 tries is all it will take you to get through the Bartman thing forever. Like I could do it 100 times in a row now on 1 life. Well, 1 try, not 1 life, because I'd probably die because there's like 4 bosses. Well, 1 boss repeats because they wanted to have 4 bosses. They wanted to have 5 bosses, but didn't want to make 5 bosses. So you just have to fight Smithers twice.
Oh.
So that level's pretty easy. Then the other level that is only one rank is, I guess you're swimming around in a bloodstream and you have like an air pump and you pump up germs and blow them up, and you have to collect 6 like cowboy Adam things, and that unlocks the page, and it's the shortest one.
I gotta ask you, because I played this game as a kid, and it never... Is there anything in any episode that ever connected to this bizarre minigame? I always thought it was so strange because you just have that syringe air pump thing and you're just shoving it into these cells and exploding
I mean the guy you collect is from an episode.
Yeah, I heard you say that on the stream and I was like,
it's a real early one.
Okay. Is he just like a character in a hospital or something?
He's a character in an educational film. I don't think it had anything to do with germs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. That one's pretty out there. Then you have the worst one with
real quick before you move on. So the weirdest thing about that minigame is, like he was saying, but I just want to underscore it. Killing the enemies is just to defend yourself. The only thing that matters is grabbing this one dude who shows up over and over and over again as it removes 1 layer at a time from a thing in the HUD. And then once that is removed from there, you can successfully pass the minigame and leave. So as a kid, I didn't understand. He was just one of a million enemies in here that didn't really...
Right.
He seemed like an enemy. Yeah, nightmare. Anyway, sorry to delay you. You can continue.
Then there's the Indiana Jones level, which the first level is pretty surmountable now that I understand the mechanics. So you're jumping around on pillars. You have 4 rows of pillars, and you have to progress along the 4 rows of pillars. If jumping on a pillar lowers it by 1 level, and usually raises another pillar somewhere on screen by 1 level. If the pillar's too low, it falls out from under you and you die. Demons spawn that will pitchfork Bart's butt and force you to jump in whatever direction they pitchforked you. But you can kill them with the whip.
Why is that in the Indiana Jones level?
I don't know.
Okay. Because they needed to ship the game and make it in like 6 months.
In the background, there are Maggie statues. And when you get close to one, you have to scroll the screen forward with R. So she'll spit out, so the statue will spit out its pacifier like a temple trap. Because otherwise, if you jump to progress, it will just kill you instantly. You can't dodge it. You have to scroll the screen to trigger it first.
What? This is just a kusoge.
Right?
This is just like all those Japanese kusoge that are like, here's this fucking completely opaque method of not dying in this part of this game. Isn't that funny?
But once you know about the forward scrolling and once you understand, well, if the thing's too low, it'll fall. Once you understand those 2 points, the first level is simple, completely surmountable. The problem comes in the second level where they introduce a new enemy. A green devil. You want to know what the green devil does?
What is the green devil?
It does all the same shit as the other colored devils, but if you attack it, you die instantly.
What? Yeah, this is just a kusoge. This is just Takeshi's castle.
Right?
If you attack it at all, the ground instantly falls out from under you and you die. And that is what stymied me from beating this game, is I could not overcome this jump around and make sure that you elevate something high enough for you to progress while also avoiding these green devils you can't hit. Because you die instantly, frame 1.
Yeah. It's like somewhere between Takeshi's Challenge or whatever and the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine game that was featuring those 2 comedy people that they had to rebrand for America.
Penn and Teller.
No.
Not Penn and Teller.
Yeah, they're Japanese comedians.
Guys.
Yes, the Manzai
JJ and
guys.
Jeff is the English
There
name.
we go. Yep, exactly. Yeah, no, it's somewhere between these 2 nightmare games exists this Simpsons game.
The next level is Bartzilla, which is the first level is a really simple thing where it's like enemies come at you from 3 angles. Hit the right button to blow them up when they come on screen. If you do that, it's almost impossible to lose. You don't even have to have good reaction time. The second level of Bartzilla is climbing a building. The screen is auto-scrolling behind you, and if you drop beneath it, you die. Citizens drop things out of the windows to try and hit you, which is relatively easy to dodge. Less easy to dodge is Mothra Marge, Momthra, who flies back and forth, and you just gotta get hit. Like, you can't meaningfully dodge her.
Great game.
And then you get to the top, and Homer is King Kong, and he swipes at you, and you have to move what you need to move in the direction he isn't swiping and touch the metal thing he's on, because it's like the Empire State Building, so it has like the spire at the top, the pole.
Mm-hmm.
You have to touch it and then use any button which electrifies Bartzilla and shocks him and ends the level. And then the last one is the Itchy and Scratchy level, which is like the world's shittiest beat 'em up. So here's how the Itchy and Scratchy level works. You grab a hammer, then you jump up on an end table because it's in there. It's in the Simpsons house. Itchy and Scratchy run on screen. Swing at nothing because you're up on the end table. They can't hit you. And then you immediately step off and hit them. And you have to do it this way because they have instant kill attacks.
In a beat 'em up?
Yeah, at first they have hammers and only do a little damage, but after you kill like each of them like once, they show up with guns that instantly kill you. And that's 2 levels, and the second level ends with the most confusing boss fight I think I've ever, like, why it exists.
Okay.
Is confusing. Is it itchy? Nope. Is it scratchy? Nope. Is it a Simpsons character? Nope.
What?
It's a boiler.
Why?
It is a boy. I don't know why. You kill all these enemies up in the basement, and you're like, what's left? And you walk right, and there's the boiler, and it keeps opening its door and spitting little fires at you.
What?
So you have to run past it before it can attack you the first time and grab the fire extinguisher, which is one of the weapons, and then just shoot it a million times while backing up whenever it attacks and shooting the fires, because the fires will kill you instantly. And you just do that enough times and the boiler's dead.
Maybe they
That's
thought it was a clever reference to really old cartoons, because obviously Itchy and Scratchy's are parody of.
It doesn't
Tom
have
and
a
Jerry,
face
so,
or
like,
anything. It has
Never
no
mind then.
characterization. It's just a boiler.
I'm trying to think if there was some Halloween
number-
episode where the boiler shot fire just as a random one-off thing. It just happened.
I mean, that
did-
happened in the one where Groundskeeper Willie is
Freddy. Turns
Freddy
into
Krueger,
Freddy.
yeah. But
I-
then you would put Groundskeeper Willie somewhere in this fucking game that's about being in a nightmare.
Also,
Yeah.
that may have happened after this game was made, because they
Most likely, yeah, that was more of a
launched
later one.
headlong into the Simpsons marketing shit.
Yeah.
So fast.
I think
So
this
that's
game was like 92.
which is why people are like, "What about Poochie?" And I'm like, Poochie probably didn't exist by the time this game was out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Um,
was
num-
like
a number of people are saying that this might be a Home Alone reference, because there's a Home Alone infested boiler or something. There's like some boiler thing. I don't
know.
I don't know.
but that's Bart's nightmare. I'm never going to play it again. I got a B+. Fuck you, I won.
5
You
hours
did.
of your life, huh?
5 hours.
Man, takes me less time than that to be Mario Sunshine. When I get to play nothing but Mario Sunshine and not get thrown around like a fucking ragdoll.
All right, here, play Mario Sunshine to pull out the hammers. They start beating you.
It's like the training scene in Kung Pao.
Oh my God.
They're just slamming it against my legs and arms.
But then I moved on to the next goal that we had hit a bunch on day one, but I moved on to the next goal, which was Namco High. If you don't know what Namco High is, in 2012, Namco decided they wanted to raise the Western profile of some of their really old IPs. For some reason, they decided the best way to do this was to open a webcomic site called Shifty Look and hire a bunch of different artists to do webcomics based on shit like Blue Max, Ordine, Dragon Spirit, Valkyrie, Galaga, the really old shit.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point they decided we're gonna do a goofy, ironic dating sim where you can date these old Namco characters. We're going to get Andrew Hussey, the person behind Homestuck, to be the creative director of this game. So as a result, this game has 3 Homestuck characters in it that you could date. Everybody you've ever known worked on this fucking game. Brian Clevenger from 8-Bit Theater and Atomic Robo worked on this game.
I'm already dizzy.
Tyson Hesse worked on this game. Giggy Diggy worked on this game. Or Gigi DG. I don't fucking know how they pronounce their name. Their handle. The person behind the fucking comic that became a movie, Nimona, worked on this game. The developer of Omori worked on this game. Like, it's fucking everybody worked on this. It had so many people you've heard of working on it. But you can't play this officially anymore. Shifty Look was shut down like 45 seconds after Namco High came out, and they took it down because it was a web browser game. But luckily, if you download the unofficial Homestuck app, which preserves Homestuck in its original form, because it was like a Flash, it had all these Flash animations and Flash games and stuff as part of the normal reading experience, which were poorly recreated on because Viz bought Homestuck at some point. I forget when exactly. So when they made their website version of it, it had to cobble shit together and wasn't the same experience. So fans made a restoration project which has Namco High in it.
Great.
You also had to pay money. Only 6 characters in Namco High were free, and the others you had to buy. And I think there's 18 total.
For a Flash game.
Yeah, it's a Flash dating sim. Except it's not a dating sim. It's a visual novel with different character routes. You don't have any actual dialogue choices. You just pick which character to talk to, and then the same thing plays. Every route is roughly 40 minutes long and has the exact same plot beats. Here's every route in Namco High. You're in detention with the bad kids because you're a cousin. You're a cousin from Katamari. Because they didn't want to do like, okay, you can pick the male or the female. And they didn't want to be like, well, are these characters straight or gay? So they just pick you're the gender ambiguous cousin from Katamari. And that's how they resolve that issue. But you're in detention for rolling up the school. And none of the other than like Valkyrie, Donko, the drum from Taiko no Drum Master, the Galaga ship, Time Crisisman.
Okay, it's good they put him in.
And there's a character from Wonder Momo that is but not Wonder Momo.
Time Crisis Man.
Yeah, I'm like, which one?
I forget which one specifically it is, because I forget his name. I didn't commit it to memory. So the goal was I would do the 3 Homestuck routes, and then I would let people vote on another 3, and I did those 3 plus the picking no one route, because that only takes like 10 minutes. Because it's just picking no one. So you know how Undertale has delightful writing?
Uh-huh.
Imagine something written in the exact same style that was completely insufferable, and that's Namco High.
That's not hard to imagine.
No.
I wish it was, though.
No, because it feels like Undertale somehow hit that perfect zone of like, oh, if you did this wrong at all, it would suck.
By the way, I would like to announce it's, according to chat, Richard Miller, classic type
Yes.
crisis man.
Yeah, it's him. He's like a conspiracy theorist. That's his gimmick.
Okay.
Unexpected.
He's like everybody's secretly a reptilian but me guy. So
he's now hanging out with us. We let a conspiracy theorist onto our podcast.
It's pointless for me to meaningfully elaborate on the Homestuck routes because nobody has context or care. Nobody cares, Moby. Nobody cares.
I mean, I have context. Who were they?
They were Dave Sprite specifically, Jane Crocker, and Terezi.
Weak lineup.
Of these 3, the only one that even seems like what a Homestuck fan would want is the Terezi one.
Yeah.
The other 2 are just bad. Then I did Valkyrie, who they turned into Gumball. Like she looks like she's from the magical world of Gumball or whatever. Except even if you were like guy who constantly complains about CalArts, what does CalArts look like? They would give you a picture of Valkyrie from Namco High.
Wow.
It was really because I was like Gumball. Gumball?
That's one of the series they actually need to bring back in Namco. Where's the new Valkyrie game?
I will put a picture so you can see how much I'm not lying.
That was true. I literally came in and I was like, she's just a Gumball character?
Like I played this back when it was on the internet, and it was, oh god, he's right, from all those years ago.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, no, she's just blatantly a Gumball
That's
character.
weird.
It's cute as hell, but it is really weird that she's just a Gumball character.
And since it's they didn't really, she doesn't have a character, she's from a real old game, so she just says gamer things. Like pwned.
No.
She says pwned a lot.
Why?
Oh, no, come on.
And
she doesn't deserve that.
and like lol and noob. So that's kind of her whole character.
Well, I don't understand. Why wasn't she wearing khaki shorts and a Zelda shirt?
Then I did Donko, who is the popular Gyaru girl, but she's a drum.
I guess that could be funny. Was it?
No.
Oh, okay, of course not.
They try really hard to like sell you on the emotion of this thing that they shouldn't be trying to sell you on in 40 minutes. God. And then the last one I did was the Galaga ship, because of course you got to do the Galaga ship, and the Galaga ship. The joke is everybody thinks the Galaga ship is beautiful.
Again, it could be funny.
Yeah,
and it talks kind of like a robot, and then they live in like an Italian villa, and they have human parents that look like they're from 1890.
It was like, are we just hard doing the thing like Marty High, where they just don't acknowledge that he's a robot?
Right.
They everybody calls them a ship, but they treat it as normal. So yeah, the Namco High, it's bad. You can't skip the credits, so I had to hear the extremely bad vocal song they got for the credits 7 times. It was old after one time.
Yeah,
I
bet.
But I made a promise. That if any of these franchises come back and get a new game, not a fucking port, it has to be a thing that is clearly new, I have to go back and play the Namco High route for that franchise. The
This
only
is your
one of these
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yes, I directly compared it to that when I made this promise. The only one I'm even remotely worried about is there is a Klonoa side character. A character from Klonoa 2 in there.
Huh.
Which do you
Momo,
know?
I think?
Moo?
No.
No.
Oh, God, what is... It's the... God, Lolo. That's why I said Momo, because it's a OO name.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was a cute monkey girl. Got a tail and weird ears.
That's the only one I expect that there's even a remote chance I have to come back and do. Like, they're not going to make a fucking new Time Crisis. They're not going to make a new Blue Max. They're not going to make a new Dragon Spirit.
They should make a new Time Crisis for PlayStation VR, goddammit.
Yeah, but I feel like that ship already sailed. They should have done that 2 years ago. Well,
Like,
they
they're
should
not
have
going to
been
make a
working on
new
it 2 years ago.
They're not going to make a new Bravo Man or Valkyrie or Mappy or Rolling Thunder.
If they did it right, a new Valkyrie has a much better chance at succeeding than Valkyrie Elysium did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or a new Ginpei Tomodin. I might...
They weirdly
Mr.
keep
Driller
trying
is
to...
the only one I might have to do. Might
Right.
potentially have to come back and do also.
You say they won't do new Dragon Spirits. I feel like they have done more recent Dragon Spirit stuff. It's like, what? So that one I feel like is more likely than you think.
I think the most recent thing was just a compilation on like the 360.
I thought they did like a full, like, here it is with 3D graphics and really bad on like early PS4.
I don't think so. No, you might be getting it confused with some other.
Yeah, maybe there are multiple Dragon IPs that I might be mixing up.
That's true. Dragon's very big.
And then we moved on to the third goal, which it was Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Wow, that's sure the best Banjo game.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought it was just a bunch of journalists who were just like, collectathons are dumb and this isn't one of those, so it's the best. And then I played it and I was like, oh, fuck. this is a really great game.
It was the bizarre tone of the opening of that game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they did that.
Yeah,
I think Rare might be very stupid.
They never even do that again. Like, you get past that once and it never is like that again.
Yeah, I think the ending like makes one more joke like that, but it was like not as malicious or toxic because good luck matching up to the intro that.
Yeah, and then they had like the pre-release marketing of them doing 9/11 on the Mario sprite. And it's like, guys, you should understand that people are going to be disinclined to like you completely changing the genre of their franchise, and probably shouldn't make it worse by having every character look at the screen in the opening and say, "You're stupid if you liked those old games. These are better. This is better."
Yeah, that was insane. Because here's the thing. I'm sure there's someone listening right now who's kind of like me, where you think we're overselling it. We are not. We are underselling it. The opening of this is incredibly toxic and upset with the core fan base of Banjo-Kazooie for some reason. Now, part of that is, now I know the full story, the people who make Grab by the Ghoulies just came off of Banjo-Tooie, and they're like literally anything but one of those. And so they made Grab by the Ghoulies. There's a good chance those same people ended up making Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, I will end it if I have to make another Banjo-Tooie. There's a really good chance that that's the case.
But wasn't it also like, well, Microsoft, they had this idea, they combined this separate thing that they were working on and a new Banjo thing. Microsoft was like, show them together.
It's entirely possible. I don't know enough on the postmortem for nuts and bolts. I just know that when they went into Grab by the Ghoulies, they absolutely were sick of making 3D platformers, which you have to be some level of sick to make Grab by the Ghoulies.
Very funny that trash cans all over the game have Grab by the Ghoulies discs in them.
Yeah, and then they're like, Grunty's banished to work on shovelware forever, and she's making Grab by the Ghoulies too.
Oh my god.
I was like, man.
Yeah, they do.
Man, it's so fucked up that if you look at the end of that game when Grunty's trapped in the Amazon warehouse where she has to work for all eternity, there's a bunch of parody games that she's moving around crates of, like Grab by the Ghoulies 2, and I think one is like Mumbo's Cooking Adventure or some shit, and I'm like, wow. And there's like a couple more, and I'm like, wow, any of these would have been better than what you made after this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you know anything's better than absolutely nothing? They only made Sea of Thieves
games.
Oh,
and Connected. What was it? Connect Adventures?
They made a few different,
Okay.
but yeah, Connect Sports Adventures or something.
I guess they did the Connect Animals too.
God, what fucking... There were so many that I'm like, wow, they should have made any of these. Oh, Viva Pinata Kart was one.
Yeah.
I think Battletoads 2010 was one.
At least we got a Battletoads, right, fellas?
Yeah, that's totally not the absolute worst game that any first-party publisher has shipped in 20 years.
The weird thing is it came out 10 years after 2010, if not mistaken. That was a 2020 game, wasn't it? Or was it 2019?
I believe so, yes. I believe it was 2020.
So it took them 10 more years than they joked about making.
Uh-huh.
And then it was just outsourced to a slop factory.
The funny thing is we both noticed that like they keep talking in that game as if it was 2019, so it slipped a full year. Because they're like, it's been this many years since the Battletoads first adventure, but it doesn't line up to when it only would line up to 2019, not 2020.
Man, and that game sure was in development and then went stealth mode for almost a year straight, if not longer, before just launching unceremoniously.
Mm-hmm.
While a bunch of mini games were shoved in.
Nuts and Bolts is pretty fun. It controls good enough. They don't bog you down. You're constantly getting jiggies and progressing and banking them, and it plays the jingle, and the levels are relatively clever and conceit. And some challenges let you build really goofy vehicles. And it doesn't give a shit about how you resolve the problem as long as you resolve the problem.
Which... I'm willing to say we resolved the problem of Grunty.
Yes. Yes, we did.
I'm willing to say
but it's
that.
very funny to be like, I'm Trophy Thomas. I'm challenging you to a boat race. And I'm like, I'm taking a plane in.
See ya, bitch.
What a brave game.
Yeah, no, it's such a good game. It's possibly one of the strongest games Microsoft put out, like from when it came out until now.
Yeah.
Like the competition isn't steep, right?
It's absolutely the best Rare game they launched.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a lot of fun to be like, Grunty stole the big, powerful coconut. She stole the crystal coconut. You have to knock it out of her vehicle. And I'm like, okay, I'll just make a big, like an upside down L that goes out at the exact height of the coconut. And I drove it right into her and instantly knocked it out. I think it took me 4 seconds to beat that boss fight.
Navigate my maze, Superman. Ow! Just slams right into him.
Honestly,
God.
if anything, I wish it was let you be more deranged.
Yeah?
Like, it doesn't give you enough guns. Like, it doesn't give you enough parts. I was really hoping I could just go into the final boss with, like, the wall of guns.
Right, yeah.
But it doesn't give you enough to do that.
That actually was, if you recall, one of the builds I went for was a complete square wall with guns shoved interspersed throughout it, so I could just go fire. But yeah, no, they don't have enough gun variety, and they kind of restrict you a little bit on that.
Yeah, I considered doing something deranged, but there's nothing more deranged than what you did with drowning her.
I know that wasn't that we set an unfair body standard, right? You know?
I wish they had made a sequel where I could make like the SpongeBob Crusher car like this. Like I could make this thing and just drive it into Grunty.
Oh no. Yeah, no, it feels like it should have that.
Yeah.
It is bizarre how close it is to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
No,
it's like
you're
genuinely
right, yeah.
strange how similar using the wrench to move things feels and how similarly flying vehicles feel.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, this is such a forward-thinking game. Are you going to make a no, you're not going to try to build an IP. You're not going to try and overcome the initial fan hostility and maybe make something that's a little bit less outright hostile to your fan base and iterates on these mechanics, because it is very janky in some ways where it's like, yeah, we don't let you place items exactly where you want using the wrench. We kind of auto target to where we think you want them.
Right.
There is an amazing glitch where this is only useful in town, because in town they limit you to this like it's basically a shopping cart. They limit you to the shopping cart and they give you upgrades to the shopping cart as you beat boss fights that let you access more of the hub and let you find more part crates. If you put an item in the shopping cart and then stand on the item, you can use the wrench to lift the shopping cart into the air.
See, because you can lift it normally, but they don't want you to stand on it and lift it. Then you could get anywhere. So if you're standing on it, they keep you from doing that. So you put a box on top and then you stand on the box. Jesus. Then it's kind of like the Mormon thing where it's like, I had underwear on. It's fine.
Yeah, you can elevate up to the skybox if you want. You can use that to bypass a lot of the obstacles and get some good parts earlier than you should. It's really good.
Man, that game is so good. It's such a shame. It's such a shame they didn't explore that more. Or a Viva Pinata. Why haven't we had a Viva Pinata in 15 years?
I don't know. That just seems like really obvious games you can make sequels to. Like there isn't the Viva Pinata on the one.
No.
Yeah, they haven't made one since 360.
Yeah.
To be fair, they've made basically fuck all since 360.
Mm-hmm.
They made 2 Gears of War games, which is 2 less than they made on the 360. They made 2 Halo games, which are 2 less than they made on the 360. Wait, is Halo 4 a 360 game?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they made 1 Halo game on the Xbox One. So they made 4 fewer.
Halo Infinite is also on the Xbox One.
That came out in 2021. It doesn't get counted. Fuck you. It doesn't count. They didn't ship a Fable at all.
Fuckers. But yeah, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is really great. I genuinely push anyone who thinks they like, if you like Tears of the Kingdom, even just go give it a shot. Legit.
Yeah, if you have an Xbox, just pay for, $1 for some Game Pass and check it out.
We were so close to getting aggro to try this game, but then they put Pentiment on other consoles, and now he'll never buy an Xbox.
That's not true. I'm sure he'll be walking and see a Series S somewhere for $40 here in a couple months, and he'll just impulse buy it.
I don't think he will.
I mean, what if I need to put a potted plant on something?
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
What if you need... Sony doesn't make the PS2 anymore. What if you need something to put your Dreamcast on?
Jesus.
I'm glad you enjoyed it so much, Chris. I really am. I love that game. That game's delightful. I look forward to my next playthrough of that game. It really would have been nice if they added FPS boost at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, I wish they had added FPS boost. If that game had FPS boost, I might play it off stream and get 100% completion or something.
Yeah.
Man,
The challenges are pretty fun.
I wish they would just if it just had a different IP attached to it. Like if it was brand new IP, I don't think people would have been as upset. Obviously,
No.
and that could have
No,
been
not
neat.
at all. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I feel like there's something to it being Banjo, I feel like.
I mean,
There is, yeah.
there is for sure. Like there's
But-
an appeal to that.
But they really slam dunked a bad reception on the Microsoft end by being like, here's our CG teaser. It's clearly going to be a normal Banjo game. Here's the
That
title.
was-
It's Banjo-Kazooie. They didn't even have nuts and bolts in the title originally.
Yeah, I think
No.
I think the thing was just Banjo running out of his house and it's like, Banjo-Kazooie is back.
They're going on another adventure like you enjoy. Look forward to it.
I think there is the only hint there is that it's on a blueprint. Like I think there's a blueprint of it and it draws in on that, which not really a hint to what the game is.
Right. That just tells me the game's not done.
Right.
I think you could even make a sequel that's like part normal Banjo stuff and part this creative stuff.
You know what?
Right?
Here we go. Walkie Monkey in chat's got it fucking nailed. Blast Core, build and destroy. You
Yes.
could have made it a sequel to Blast Core. I don't think Nintendo owns the
No, 'cause
rights.
that's on
because
Rare
it's on Rare
Replay.
Replay.
So
So
it's-
yeah. There you go. You already technically had an IP, and then you have a funny gimmick and tone to lead into with the whole nuclear meltdown America, all that stuff. That could be really funny. Damn. So Chris,
There sure are some rare isms in this game though, like the mini game which is basically a infinite runner. You only have a jump button.
oh, you're talking about the arcade game thing.
Yeah, the
Oh.
arcade game. It crashes sometimes because Klungo made it.
It's a joke, you see. It
Oh my
crashed. Ha ha
God.
ha.
Oh.
Klungo's not good at making
And that just
games.
randomly happens. Sometimes when you're literally 2 steps away from the end of this relatively difficult level.
I have a question. Can the British make a video game without putting malice in it?
No.
No.
I genuinely
Seemingly
don't
not.
know.
Like there's stuff the game just didn't need, like cops who harass you in town.
Yeah, I forgot.
Like if you start trying to take your fucking jiggies to the bank, they're like, you're smuggling, I'm gonna harass you. My car has bombs. And I'm like, well, I got a laser now. You're just gonna die.
Is it too late to say I'm sorry? Chris, do you think this is going to be the best game you played during your Donathon?
No, probably not, because I am playing Shadows of the Damned and Killer is Dead. And I
Okay.
think both of those games are good. I'm playing Silent Hill 1 through 3, and I'm sure at least one of those will be a good game.
God, I hope it's at least 2 of those.
I'm sure I will like to story and ambiance and everything, but I do. It's hard for me to go, yeah, I spent 4 hours trying to find what door to go through. The 10. And I think Silent Hill 3 is a little bit less that.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe Mass Effect Andromeda is unbelievably delightful.
I gotta say, I gotta thank you for taking the bullet on that one. Now that you've played Mass Effect Andromeda, soon, I will never need to play a Mass Effect game because I'll get to see you play that. I'm serious. There was a real threat of the Mass Effect month, but now I'm in the clear because I just get to see you go, oh, what is, oh, God. Jesus.
Don't worry. If they actually ship Mass Effect 4, you'll have to do it for SEO.
Imagine the algorithm ever blessing us. I've seen multiple YouTube channels this month go, yeah, we're going hard into Patreon. The algorithm's a nightmare. Just go support me there. Even $1. Yeah, they're not even posting the videos ever publicly. Not as a, we want the content to be something you pay for. Literally, they want to make the content, but it will even further screw them in the algorithm. Because you can only put out gangbusters, guys. You can't put out a video that does even slightly worse than the last one.
YouTube's so stupid.
It's so fucked over there.
Yeah.
Also, I'm doing a playthrough of Final Fantasy VIII, so that'll probably be the best thing.
Well,
that I play.
obviously.
Maybe
Chris, at
Redfall's
least.
great now that it's been patched for a year. Maybe it's delightful. Maybe they completely fixed it and used magic, and you boot the game, and it gives you $100. But yes, the remaining goals are: I have to read and review Chugging Bleach Style the first 6 volumes of Boruto. I will never bring that up on any other content other than Chugging Bleach, and only if it's really funny.
Thank you.
The chat gets to design a sprite, like an expression that I make with my face.
One of those.
In fact, you can send your references to vote on to Chris Wolfhart biz biz at gmail.com. There is a Nightbot command on my channel to bring it up to. I'm not posting that on Twitter because why would you post an email address on Twitter? That's just stupid.
Yeah.
So I will bring it up intermittently on every stream I'm on until then. And I was probably going to give people 2 weeks to send things in to ensure as many people as who were interested in that got a chance. And Saturday I am starting Redfall, our Redfall playthrough.
Saturday, that's great. You get time to recover from Friday's stream and you can join over the internet, Bob.
Oh.
You hear me handling a gun underneath the camera.
We'll do so many vampire nests. We'll get so much loot. We'll completely ignore every weapon other than the steak bazooka, because why would you use any weapon other than the steak bazooka?
Aggro, your PC can also play Redfall, right?
Theoretically? I don't know if morally it can.
You know, I got this email. Microsoft has a big new game called PC Game Pass.
That sounds like a great reason to do anything.
I'm excited for your Redfall stream, Chris. That'll have the energy of my mom hasn't shown up at the mall parking lot to pick me up, and it's been hours.
That is definitely going to have. Surely, it will be weird to be like, oh, the enemies work now. Maybe I fucking hope they do.
I feel like they could double the frame rate before they make all the AI work, but we'll see.
I don't think it was the alien isolation problem where they just accidentally had one thing where every part of the code was
right. They accidentally wrote a capital letter instead of a lowercase, and oops, all the AI was broken.
I sure hope the reports I got near launch, where when you progress in the story to move to the second map, it completely locks off the first map, and then as soon as you beat the game, it starts New Game Plus and erases all your progress. I hope both of those have been rectified.
There's no chance. I bet that's 100% what it still is.
But the first one maybe, but the second one, why would you throw people in New Game Plus for your loot shooter? Aren't you supposed to grind in-game raids?
Because you have no idea what you made,
right?
But we still have remaining Redfall, Silent Hill 1 through 3, Shadows of the Damned and Killer is Dead, and Mass Effect Andromeda. Final Fantasy VIII I have to prepare for because I don't want people to come in and be like, okay, now I have to kill this specific enemy for 3 hours. So we'll have some save points prepared ahead of time. Like, here is where I would kill this guy for 3 hours, but instead I can load this save where I have already killed this guy for 3 hours.
It's like a
just
cooking
show. Just pull that right out of the oven. I should do that on Big Think one time. Just pull a turkey out from underneath my desk.
I don't know if I will succeed, but I would like to get everything except for Final Fantasy VIII and Boruto done in March.
Wow. Ambitious.
It would be terrible if your Donathon extended out from this month.
Donathon's over, for the record. There is no Wave 2. Like, there's no timer. Everything that was on that Wave 2 list, I will just do as a normal goal. I don't need to strong arm people like, suffer, add more, add more, add more.
Yeah, only a stupid asshole would put a timer up and let the internet affect it.
Especially when they come up with such brilliant things as Slop Swap. I sure hope they don't have any other brilliant schemes in the fucking works.
Yeah, no, that would be absolutely tragic if they just turned their Twitch channel into the most deranged shit in the world, and then it fueled back into itself like a horrible Ouroboros. Did you play anything else?
No, but I had sleep paralysis for the first time this week.
Sleep paralysis, like you woke up and couldn't move?
It's not exactly waking up and not being able to move. You're kind of consciously awake. You can't really move. You kind of feel like you're suffocating and a demon is there. There's a reason people say sleep paralysis demon. There is a demon. He's there.
Okay. Well, have we ruled out that there wasn't a demon there? Like a real demon there for you?
Well, it was a cat, so it's an awful specific demon if that's the case.
And you're fitting!
But yes, I had my first experience with real sleep paralysis where I'm like, I can't fucking move. Why can't I fucking move?
Oh, man. I'm surprised like it's the first time it's happened to you. It happens to me all the fucking time. I probably have undiagnosed medical problems.
Bob's just staring into the middle distance. Imagine sleep. Bob's like, I just got all paralysis, no sleep.
I mean, I've had nightmares that probably are similar to that because it feels like I'm awake, but I don't know. And I'm stuck and can't move in bed.
See, for the longest time on the podcast network, I was doing GigaBoots full time and my job. Mm-hmm. And because of that and how much me editing every podcast and all the other shit we did, I didn't get enough time to sleep.
Right.
So people assumed because of that I was an insomniac, and I'm not. However, I do have a naturally constantly shifting sleep schedule, which will very regularly end up with me coming in to do something like Big Think or anything that's a scheduled thing I have to start at a certain time on like 2 hours of sleep, just because it will have shifted enough. So I don't have what you would normally consider a major sleep problem. So anytime anyone's like talking about sleep problems, I feel bad that the audience probably thinks I also suffered. It's like, no, I'm just a dipshit with like a 25-hour sleep cycle. Like that's not a real one. Bob suffers from a real one. I'm just some asshole. So Aggro, what is your demon also a cat?
No, see, that's the weird thing. The demon part I've never experienced. But the sleep paralysis part, frequently.
Did you scare him away? The demon?
Potentially. I did have a lot of very explicit Christian t-shirts as a child, and they made a statement.
Bold text, fuck off, demon. Demon's just at the door crying silently. Man.
But I played nothing else except the games I played on stream. Oh, and I played more Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, but that was whatever.
Aggro, what you been playing?
Other than that Peach demo, not a lot. Like, I got to do a few rounds of Helldivers. I should probably play that game with other people at some point.
Yeah. And or turn down the difficulty.
Oh, yeah. No, I was at a level by myself. I'm like, I'm going to try medium. This is going really well. I'm going to try hitting some of the extra objectives because I didn't understand that the longer you're in a level, the more frequent and terrible the spawns are.
Have you been in a level where the meteor shower starts?
I have not seen that.
They added that shit really recently. It was really good. I was playing with my brother and Jim Ratgazer, and the meteor shower starts, and it starts coincidentally because it just fucking blows up the surface. Like, it lands, giant plume, that part's gone, and it is nonstop. So it slams into the ground. It's like little nest destroyed, and we're like, yeah, fuck those bugs. And another one hits a medium-sized nest, and we're like, yeah. And then it crushes Jim Ratgazer. And we're like, oh, fuck, dude, but at least we got those two for free. And then he respawns and gets crushed again. We're like, dude, this is... I don't know how you dodged the fucking space debris, but we're going to ask you to try. That game whips. That game is really good. It's still having a little bit of problems. It took us a minute to match up with... my brother and stuff. Like, it just wasn't letting us join each other's parties. But I finally figured out if you tell Windows what your communication device is, you tell it, this microphone is my default communication device, it'll work in Helldivers, so you don't have to use Discord. Pro tip.
Nice.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. Did you have anything else?
No, that'll do it for me.
Why didn't you play more Unicorn or Overlord?
I will find a way to reach through this Discord call and wreak my terrible vengeance.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't make a new PSN account to play the demo again. Or on Switch.
Yes, that's right. It's the Podlords. Podlords such as BN12, Ely Broyles, Red Blaze 27, Suzushiro, Rado. As of yesterday, it has been 4 full years of me waiting on those backer rewards.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
That's Wonderful 101, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course.
I'm sure they're working on many great things that totally justify why it's taking so long.
WTF, Spider-Man. Mr. I like spam.
Did you know that even with seatbelts, people die all the time in car crashes? I thought that was interesting, Kupo. Why did they do this?
I hate that little freak so much.
It's awful.
DFW3K.
Even as the last lights in the universe flicker to black, one constant will remain.
Shiny Mew.
Kristen. Oh God, oh my God, please tell me I'm not too late to change my name. I'm so sorry. Podlord, oh my God, what was it?
Yeah, right?
I accidentally wrote it! What do you mean accidentally?
We had a good thing going, Squeenix, but you had to fuck it up.
I like this one. It doesn't scare me.
Right?
Cooper Tank.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has swallowed my time for bits, so here's a random picture of a Guitar Store manager.
You don't want to play bass. Bass is just there so the drummer and the guitarist can carpool.
Why does everything I get hyped for get canceled?
Indigo Sykes.
A Podlord image went missing. It's a picture of the MetaQuest 3. I don't think it was edited, but if it was, I really apologize, Podlord. Anyways, the Podlord name is all the things you did, all the things you said, running through your quest, running through your quest.
Evil Lucario.
A tired raccoon getting no sleep because of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Shinji 16 and nothing worth worrying about would like to remind you that you matter, you are valid, and you deserve to be happy. Dove too deep into Final Fantasy VII lore, and now I'm seeing character motivation in their shirt colors?
Holy shit, pull up red leader.
Right?
Limited run games, finally shipping my game from 2022!
Oh, come on.
The Super Mim. The Hard M is taking a vacation this week. No plans.
Oh my god. No.
Sarlene. Timothy Pfister. Bearded Joe. Krunglespum. Pleochrome. Bob is Taigong Wong, one of history's greatest war criminals and a geomancer. Wow.
All right.
For the low price of 100 subs, you too can trap your favorite cat boy inside the Waha Kuyomi?
Yeah, because my sub is Monokuma screaming Waha, and if you get 100 subs at once,
Oh my god.
it plays for 10 minutes.
Good lord.
It's a lot.
Planet's dying, Merc. Boobs are temporary. The live stream is forever.
No, I think
Technically
it's
not,
definitively not.
consider I'm sucking it up to use in my fucking fridge.
87 hours into Rebirth as of this post and still not finished. No mental power for a new bit, so Foxboy Seth stays.
Have you run
That's
into him
more
yet?
than 10 hours a day.
Hey, we're not here to put the Podlords on blast. Had Whataburger for the first time in 15 years. Tasted like my childhood and cholesterol. That's true. Altera. Attila the Hun.
I did not know who that was supposed to be.
And the best reviewed game goes to Pentiment on Switch. Also 120 frames per second on PS5. And out of Bleach gags, so I'm just gonna have you read Yu-Gi-Oh card names. Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thank Podlords.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thank you, Podlords.
And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as early access to Pokemon Go to the Movies and Chugging Bleach, our 2 monthly anime review podcasts. In fact, if you listen to those shows on YouTube, there is almost always another episode waiting for you on Patreon. You especially want that for our latest episode of Chugging Bleach, which includes copious amounts of both Renji and Noitora slander. You also get other extended content for other shows we do, such as Gamer Premonitions. There is extended content for our Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Gamer Premonitions waiting. So go find out how correct we were as you play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You also get to fund a show once a month, either a bad thing, either you fund a public show where we watch a bad thing, such as Nintendo Quest, Dan.
What?
And then Patreon gets a commentary track, or a private show where we watch a good thing and discuss it, and that is a patron exclusive show. Presumably this month it'll be some glacially paced historical epic that Aggro brings.
God,
because
stop
of Dharma.
saying that. Stop saying that. Stop saying that.
I hope it involves boats.
I hate you.
No more votes.
Boats.
Everybody's
But that's-
had enough of boats.
But you also get an entire movie called Isolation 119, which is an incredible film about a man getting a tax write-off on his vacation to Thailand. It has Microsoft Sam in it. Giving away more than that would give away the game, so you really need to become a patron and watch that movie.
You do.
This isn't a joke. It's a full 90-minute film, or 75, I think. I think it's closer to 75. But it's there and it's real.
I think I would have memorized how long it was
Right?
by now. I've seen it enough times. But that's patreon.com/GBpodcast.
And if you don't have any money, you can always help us by telling your friends, rating us on Thursdays, rating us on your podcasting app of choice, or like, leave a comment, and subscribe on this video right now. Patreon.com/GBpodcast.
We've got news. This is breaking news, so my co-host may be shocked because it happened while we were live. Akira Toriyama passed away.
What? Whoa! What?
Whoa.
Yeah, that happened
I was just reading this.
just a moment ago. Yeah, he passed at the age of 68.
Man, Jesus.
They said in the update that he was working on multiple projects that were unfinished.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Man, these manga companies, they gotta stop. It's like a fucking timer. You don't make it past 68.
Yeah,
where he's long since retired from publishing weekly. I
Yeah,
thought
but
they'd
when
be
you-
out
when
of
you
it, but yeah,
spend-
I guess.
When you spend like your 20s and 30s like not sleeping, it fucks you up in a way that just fixing the problem doesn't fix.
Yeah, apparently he passed on the 1st and they only just announced it. Yeah, this feels a little surreal. Yeah. Been doing stuff for 45 years.
Yeah.
Jesus. Crazy. Anyways, let's get to yeah, I'm gonna confidently say less dour news.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I don't want to go to Chris then. Hey, Aggro.
Yo.
Let's go to you.
So you remember that slight kerfuffle that Apple and Epic were going through
Yeah.
over the last couple of years?
Just a little thing, yeah.
Oh, we've had a slight update. You see, over in the EU, the Digital Markets Act went into effect this week, which was basically them telling Apple, you have to let third-party markets onto your shit. Epic was excited because they were gonna bring Fortnite back to iPhone with the Epic Game Store, and then Apple deleted their developer account. They say that they did this because of like egregious breaches of their developer agreements. Which, looking around, seems to have been Tim Sweeney talking shit about the implementation of the Digital Markets Act that they're trying to still make money off of. So that's still happening. But I think the main takeaway from this story is this is what you should be seeing. You should be seeing the companies fighting each other and the governments making rulings.
Yeah. No, that's what ideally.
I think Apple got hit for like, was it $2 billion in Brussels earlier this month for just some more of their bullshit? I think on the music side.
Oh man, $2 billion. That's really going to affect Apple.
Some of these penalties need to stop being financial and need to start being executives going to prison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Any other news, Aggro?
Officially, at time of recording, Unicorn Overlord is still not out. It should be out because I want to play it. This is total bullshit. Every moment between now and when it does come out is morally unjustifiable.
Thank you, Aggro, for the news. In clown news in the last week, the composer of Halo and Destiny, Marty O'Donnell, after his attempt to make his own game studio, Highwire Games, has announced via an insanely long tweet and a video seemingly made by his nephew in the year 2009 in Windows Movie Maker that he is running for office as a Republican congressional representative for the 3rd District of Nevada. The man is known for such cryptic but insightful tweets as, "It's not a phobia if it's rational," dangerously open statement, and has made his platform saying that border control needs to be tighter and unions are just as bad as giant corporations when it comes to manipulating governments. Worth noting, His game studio he made, Highwire Games, only exists on Wikipedia as a subnote of his article on Wikipedia. They made the game Golem, which we thought was the absolute worst VR game we had ever played, and still think that.
Uh-huh.
And let me get the quote here. Polygon described as nearly unplayable game, breaking multiple rules of VR design and suffering from bugs that make it just about impossible to play. Also worth noting, they're the developers behind 6 Days in Fallujah, which came out last year.
Fallujah.
Thank you. So, I'm also reading a note here underneath the news story that says someone went into his Discord and asked him what his policies were that distinguished him from other Republican candidates, and he couldn't name any.
Yeah, because he has to win a primary.
Uh-huh.
So somebody went and is like, okay, what are your stances on things? Why should I vote for you over these other people? And he basically told them, you're trolling. You're trolling me by asking me what my positions are because I don't fucking have any. I didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah, I read his oatmeal of a announcement, and I'm really surprised the only thing that wasn't in it was the actual phrase woke mind virus.
Uh-huh.
He is just one more Fox News addled bullshitter who's like, I'm a normal guy, and that means I need to save America.
Yeah, no, it's true. The thing is full of families are falling apart because the government, and I'm going to save them. Border control is weak. We need to strengthen it. You know, America is suffering, but it's not just the corporations at fault. It's also unions. The video just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, thanks, Marty O'Donnell, for being a staggering disappointment, not once, but twice.
Oh, he'll continue.
He's got to scale it. He's got to scale up the power level of it, right? If he just shipped another bad game,
Right.
that didn't affect me. Like, oh yeah, he's making that 6 days in, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I played Golem. It's not really. Now, admittedly, when we were playing Golem and chat shot us with that gun, we were like, oh, fuck, what? But past that point, yeah. So anyways, I don't know how he scales it up from here, but god damn it, I bet Marty will figure it out.
I like that he also released an interview. He was like, yeah, I will continue voting for Trump. I support him fully.
Oh, cool. Great. Awesome. What a... Nice. Hey, Bob, do you have any news?
I do have news. Luckily not about Marty O'Donnell.
Good.
The creator of Unsighted, a top-down like mix of Zelda and Dark Souls that was pretty neat, came out a few years ago. They announced their next game.
Oh.
It's called Abyss X Zero. And they're doing a 3D Metroidvania with a low poly 3D style to it, like it's going for the Mega Man Legends sort of look.
Oh, cool.
The thing it looks most like to me is Guruman.
Oh yeah,
it does look a bit like
also
that.
has that. Yeah.
It's gonna have two protagonists. I think that they oppose each other. One's like this schoolgirl with a sword, and this other
one is Ryuko from Kill la Kill.
Yeah, basically, and the other is some sort of robot night girl.
Dope.
Yeah, it's like that. This looks really cool. I'm excited to see what they do with that.
That again was Abyss X Zero for anyone who's interested.
We got a release date for Legend of Heroes.
They can't do this to me. That's going to be right next to Visions of Mana.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh my god.
Trails True Daybreak. Which is out July 5th for PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. Nothing missing there, right?
One moment, let me try that again. PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC.
Well, this game won't sell over 100,000 copies, so Xbox would be like, "Well, give us $2 million for not selling it
Xbox. I was thinking the Wii U. I was like, they don't support that anymore, Bob. What are you talking about?
I pre-ordered this game at GameStop the other week.
Yeah,
and they were like, I think this is it. The Legend of Heroes TTD.
Oh my god!
Because the title was too long.
The Thousand Door.
When I went to pre-order Unicorn Overlord, I had to tell the clerk the name like 3 times.
All right. You know what? At least you didn't go, hey, do you have Final Fantasy VIII? And he went, does that have a subtitle?
That is still taking the cake as my most what the fuck do you mean, sir? Interaction at a GameStop.
Daisuke Taka, the producer of Harvestella, leaves Square Enix.
And I'm pissed.
Yeah, he
Great.
was apparently also the game designer.
Oh, I'm really pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, motherfucker. That was like one of my favorite games you shipped in forever. God damn it.
I have to. I wonder if we're gonna be like, yeah, here's my new 10-cent studio.
I mean, he's
or
so
Netty studio.
like he's so small. Like Harvestella is like his only credit, so I feel like there's no way.
They've gotten like relatively small people before. It feels like.
All right, maybe.
God, that upsets me.
But it can't be because that did bad because they clucked about how it did good.
Right.
Right. They released an like anime OP for the Cowboy Bebop X Overwatch like crossover they're doing.
Ugh.
And they remade the tank intro, but with the Overwatch characters wearing the outfits from Cowboy Bebop. It's surprisingly well done, but I feel like he can just show us the skins, please.
No. We found out it was really easy to co-opt Cowboy Bebop, so we want to do it now too. And we're going to really lean into it, and this will save us.
This will save us. I'm still waiting for that Haruhi crossover. They put the Haruhi dance in basically at launch.
That's true. That is very true.
They don't know what it is though, Bob. They just searched, okay, dance.
Weeb dance.
Dancing.gif.
Jeez. It was so old at that point. I feel like you have to have been seeking it out.
Right. At the point where Overwatch came out, I feel like that was a dip.
Right.
Right. It was a little bit less.
Yeah, it was
a little bit less relevant.
That was at the peak of its unpopularity, I feel.
There you go.
I need the Lucky Star collab.
Of course.
Just turn Diva into Kanata.
Uh-huh. 1 billion copies sold.
Yeah, this will save Overwatch 2.
I'm like, I don't know enough about Lucky Stars. The implications, like, I don't know Kanata well enough. Is it just like Diva's mentally ill now? And it's like, no, she was before. Like, that's just, did you not? The fans know. You have to know.
Yeah, you have to know. I mean, she is the gamer.
Right.
So.
And as we know, gaming is an illness.
Yes.
And the cure is haste.
No.
That's the only way to go clean on gaming. You play haze and you go, yeah, I don't like video games anymore. They involve piss.
They announced the PC port for Ghost of Tsushima.
Cool.
So that's coming out May 16th. It's going to be $60. It's done by Nix's.
Yeah.
Nixies. Going to have ultra-wide support. DLSS 3, FSR 3, Intel X. I assume that's how you say it.
No, but I will let you say it that way.
DualSense features work, unlocked frame rate.
Awesome.
So everything you'd want pretty much.
Great.
And
Comes with the expansion in a co-op mode.
Yeah, the co-op
That's the
mode.
online co-op
Yeah,
thing?
the online co-op. They didn't take it out.
Cool.
It's still there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is a good game. This is great. Feel like everyone... I don't know of anyone who's like, Ghost of Tsushima sucks, I hate it.
Right.
So I'm glad it's available to more people in a way better presentation because, uncapped frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And Dragon's Dogma 2 is getting a character creator you can use right now. It's downloadable. You can do that, and you can then port your characters into the full game. I think they said you like to make 5 different characters, and
Cool.
that'd be for you and your pawn.
No pawn?
No, your pawn.
Oh, no pawn. Hey, Chris, you got any news?
Dragon's Dogma runs real bad.
Yes.
That's not news. Well, I
mean,
guess
it is news because
technically
now
is,
we
yeah.
know because IGN did a thing. It's like 28.
Yeah, and it has big dips for during combat.
Apparently it runs at a pretty high resolution, so I'm assuming this is just like we're shipping at the end of the fiscal year and had no time to fucking fix anything.
Yeah, because they also said they would not have any variation to modes you can choose. It's just it just plays in this one mode.
I assume it'll get patched with those in a couple months.
Yeah,
you
if
know, when the
it's-
game should have come out.
If it's CPU limited, which I assume it is, then that does make optimizing for it more complicated than just change resolution. Fuck off.
That's true.
So
I don't know.
hopefully
I
they
feel like
figure
it
that
might
out.
literally just be we didn't have time to make the multiple profiles. Here's the one.
We chose wrong.
Yes. Well, the first game ran bad and everybody low. Oh wait, it didn't sell all that great. Oh. I kind of expect it to be hot in general because again, into the fiscal year.
Right.
Yeah, it does just feel like they're shoving it out the door.
Same with Rise of the Ronin. I'm like, I'll check you two out later.
I can't resist. I'm buying Rise of Ronin immediately.
I mean, yeah, that looked dope.
Yeah.
That looked really, really dope.
And they keep, every week, I haven't even bothered putting in news, but they keep putting out big videos about it. It's like, oh, this is how interactions with teammates work. This is how different style or combat styles work.
Neat.
Yeah, every one of those has been a lot of fun to watch.
Chris has so much fun news this week. I'm just staring it down.
Yuzu is settling with Nintendo for $2.4 million. All their code is being taken down and Yuzu will cease distribution. It's open source, so this doesn't matter. Somebody will just make a fork of it in like 2 weeks. That's how these things be. The 3DS emulator Citra was under the same license or whatever, so it has to go down too. And is something that was clearly part of the settlement. Yuzu had to post a really embarrassing like notepad screenshot statement on Twitter that is, we're sorry we enabled piracy. We understand that it's wrong and all pirates should be hung. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. That's sure what happens when Nintendo gets a reputation for being petty and destructive with litigation, and you take the option of, well, at least we'll live. Unlike that guy who I think they like have his salary garnished for the rest of his life because he distributed a ROM.
Yep.
This what, you know, they're so fucking stupid. The Ryujin X, the other Switch emulator, is the one that gets games running before they're officially out. At least Yuzu's like, we're not touching this in regards to a game until it's out. So they didn't even pick the right one to brutalize if they wanted to do something. If they wanted to have any ground.
Does Ryujinx also have a Patreon?
I don't believe so.
We don't know what sort of things Nintendo was building their case on, but there's a chance that the Yuzu devs felt less safe defending themselves in the least just because of that. This sucks.
I'd feel more safe because it was done in court, but I think it was probably just, they'll... Like, what are you going to do? Spend millions of dollars in legal fees? Nintendo can just wait you out.
Yeah, this is what justice looks like.
Yep.
We need a copyright version of Slap.
Yes, we do.
Like, we need some variant of like, no, you're a giant corporation. You don't get to take this person to court, and they have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend themselves for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, this is horrible. Like, I don't want anyone to misunderstand my stance on this shit because we use original hardware for all of our streams.
Right.
I think emulators are fucking awesome. I think they're very good and important what they do. You know, randomizers exist because of emulators.
Mm-hmm.
All these cool ROM hacks and things exist because of emulators. Every time Nintendo does some shit like this, it drives me insane.
If emulators... If you want to go beyond the surface level of any medium, you have to pirate.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no other way to do it. Like, they're not interested in selling you this old stuff. They're not interested in making it available. They don't give a shit. Like, hey, guess what show isn't being carried over from Funimation to Crunchyroll? Samurai Flamenco, a show that I know so many people who love to pieces, and that's probably never going to get licensed in America again. It's probably just gone. It's probably just in the void now. Because they don't give a shit. The moment it's out, it's like, well, we made our money from it. Who cares? Who gives a shit?
Which is insane because it's like, you don't understand. The reason your IPs, all of them, have importance is because they have legacy. Without preservation, there is no legacy. If no Mario games were available on the market right now, Mario would be fairly meaningless. You pull power away from things when you make it less accessible. So then,
nobody seemed to have like internalized that. It's
Yeah, I'm sure that Jack games would be way more popular if they were for sale.
yeah. Hey, Sony, maybe you would have more functional IPs if you made the fucking games available.
I was trying to figure out what Jack Games was, and I was like, what the fuck is Jack? Oh, Jack and Daxter,
Yeah,
right?
Jack and
because the
Daxter.
majority of the titles don't even have and Daxter in
No,
it.
they don't.
They're Jack Games.
No,
It's true. Once again, with Sony's resources, there is no reason they don't have someone doing a decompilation right now.
Mm-hmm.
You should just have a studio doing that for Sly and Jack and Ratchet.
I saw those rumors going around about a bunch of remasters they are working on, and it's like those aren't the right ones, man.
No, God of War 1 and 2.
Gotta be way more.
And 3.
Gotta be way more.
Don't
Nope,
worry,
just that.
there's also a rumor that they're doing a big elaborate remake of Bloodborne, something it doesn't fucking need. It came out not even 10 years ago.
Yeah, that game looks great. It just looks bad. It runs bad.
Look, Demon Souls, if you fuck up Bloodborne, people, like, you wasted that money. You just wasted it.
Mhm.
People just keep playing the original. You can play the original on your fucking hardware, geniuses.
Yeah.
All it needs is to run at a higher resolution and have a high frame rate. Frame rate. That's literally all it needs.
It is amazing how stupid these corporations are run right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it genuinely seems like everyone in charge of every major corporation has no idea what people want. That's how it feels to be alive right now.
Well, now they think they can force you to want what they want you to want, so they can make more money.
Right.
I mean, it worked for YouTube.
Right?
I don't think it did.
I'm going to be honest. There's no platform other than a random stream I would have had to talk about this, but I honestly think YouTube is experiencing some level of burnout because every channel I have seen has the Shinigami life counter.
Right.
Because the algorithm doesn't sustain life on the long-term scale.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like because of them constantly artificially pushing the algorithm towards shorts and then towards short videos, like the amount of changes we've seen it go through in what it pushes has made sure no one's channel can survive. You know, it went from this to reviews to video essays to YouTube shorts, now back towards video essays. And it just feels like long-term, there's no success of anything. Because if you deviate what you make it all, like the fact we do a variety channel is 100% backing up why we aren't being promoted more by the algorithm. And that annoys the hell out of me. And it sucks to see these channels that have to pair off all of these different things they want to do to just be a show. A show people will grow tired of. A show that is of a genre that has a lifespan on it.
Or have multiple channels, which so many people do, and they have to be like, here's my each channel for each different thing I cover, because if I did them all on the same channel, YouTube would just cut their throat.
Yeah. And like inevitably, we're going to end up there. Inevitably, you're going to be seeing some of our podcast series on their own YouTube channels. But it just drives me insane when I've seen so many creators just get destroyed by this. Right?
Yeah, it's serving people what they want. It's so insane. It's like, it's even the search now. You search on YouTube, you get 3 real results. And you want to watch some videos you already watched? I'm like, no, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like the thing I fucking searched for.
That's a better situation. Like, I searched for a thing, and one time it served me only 6 videos, and then it was like, hey, this human being died. Do you want to see the last vlog? I'm like, no. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm looking up game long plays. YouTube, you are deranged. You are sick in the head. What? It feels like YouTube isn't successfully going to sustain itself going forward just because other people have a vision, right? TikTok has a vision for what their thing is. And YouTube has changed its identity nonstop over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, and right now it's trying to be TikTok.
And even still, it seems like the algorithm actually is even going away from that again because they didn't see enough money or anything from that.
I'm willing to bet that YouTube probably doesn't make a whole lot of money if it's profitable at all.
Yeah, like for the longest time it wasn't. I have no idea.
Like I feel like The problem right now is they don't know how to make it profitable at all.
Mhm.
Hey, you could build a Patreon equivalent into your infrastructure. Ooh.
They kind of did,
You
but
did-
then everything else they did kind of decimated.
Oh yeah,
that.
the YouTube Red was kind of a thing. For
Well,
2
not only that,
seconds.
we have memberships. This channel technically has members. We have YouTube
Oh.
channel members. It's a very, very small amount, but they get you access to our emotes and stuff.
Right.
For the longest time, you couldn't use YouTube emotes on other channels because then YouTube would have to police that. And it's like, yo, you missed the fucking point.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube sure likes to miss the point.
Oh shit! I just reminded Spiff to cancel his YouTube membership. Fuck. That's
Damn.
That's $5 a month. I'm not seeing anymore.
No cookout tonight, boys. But I guess we should move on. From
Yeah, let's move on.
this. WB Games head JB Perrette wants them to focus more on free-to-play and mobile games, as if that fucking matters.
Do you have any evidence to support this idea? Do
No.
you have any successes in this field to warrant us shifting everything away from the only game that did well for us remotely recently to this?
Yes. See, I'm an executive, so I must have gotten here by merit. Therefore, my
Well-
ideas are good.
Well, see, here's the
Whoa.
argument, Dan. Hogwarts Legacy made a lot of money. What if Hogwarts Legacy never ended and you could sell battle passes and cosmetics?
Then it wouldn't have made a lot of money.
That would be in
No,
fact
it
a different
would. It
game
would have, though.
entirely.
No,
Would've
because
been-
it wouldn't
no, it would've
succeed.
made infinite money.
It would have succeeded and made infinite money. In fact, all games should be all companies should be seeking that infinite money. Why are we losing so much money?
Like at this point, it's less that, oh, it's a bad idea that's popular, and more like, wow, the hole in your brain is a very specific shape that I keep seeing over and over.
Right, and then
Yeah.
Chris builds the vehicle that has the prong that comes out. He rams it straight to the executive.
Yeah, it feels like free to play and whatnot is seen a downturn in general over the last few years. What in the world is this coming from?
I don't know. And the fact that things aren't getting better is so insane.
Yeah.
Like, how hard does this industry need to crash before people go, right, we should have funded the thing that lost us hundreds of $1 million multiple times over the 6th time we did that?
right? You got scared and removed a lot of the like weird mechanics that feel like they're from a mobile game that were in Suicide Squad a year ago, and that still wasn't enough to save that game that was clearly infected with these ideas. I don't get it.
Also, fucking Multiverse just posted one tweet where they're like, "We might be alive again soon."
Yeah, I saw that tweet a few days ago. I was like, it's been too long already. You need to have followed that up. We need a date.
Yeah, I sure hope you massively overhaul the way that game plays, and your plan isn't just, well, we'll try again.
Right. Like
Oh.
it's been months. It better be completely different.
It's been almost a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't realize this. So I talked about a dev whose game, like before we started recording this podcast, a developer's game is getting taken down by Warner Brothers. Apparently, that was through the Adult Swim label. I was trying to...
Yes.
It's apparently called Small Radios, Big Televisions. It came out in 2016, and they're like, yeah, we're just delisting it now.
There was another one of those Adult Swim games where it's like, yeah, we had to get them to transfer ownership of the Steam page to us so it wouldn't get taken down.
So
Maybe
that
are they
dude's-
about to shut down Adult Swim?
Small Radios, Big Televisions is just available on the guy's website. You can go search for the tweet for that. It's fire-face.com/game/srbt.html. You can just download the game because it's going to disappear anyways.
Yeah. God, that'd be real dire if they were just deleting Adult Swim. That'd be crazy.
They seem real stupid.
Yes, they do. Every decision they make seems incredibly stupid. Like, I know Adult Swim doesn't mean what it used to as a brand, but that's mainly because you mismanaged
People still
it.
watch it. People
right?
still watch it. I still know people who watch Adult Swim regularly. They like watching whatever anime they pick out.
Mm-hmm.
I think people really people have forgotten that not having to pick what you're watching is something people want sometimes. Like, hey, I put on the anime channel and will just show me some anime.
Yeah.
No,
I'll
I
just watch whatever.
very strongly want that in my life. I don't want to make decisions. There's a thing called decision fatigue. It's a
Yeah.
very real thing. When I want to go relax, I don't necessarily want to deal with that. I want to just
And choice paralysis is another thing where it's like if you have too many things, you might do none of them.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of what makes subscription services a lot less valuable than they appear to be on the surface.
If these people weren't fucking morons, if all of these streaming services weren't goddamn idiots, what they would do is have a live tab and just do 10 channels and let people tune in.
Only Retro Crush does that.
Yeah,
they get
Why
it.
doesn't Netflix?
I don't know. That's
Netflix.
insane.
Don't you want people on the same page talking about the same shit on your service? How is that not obviously of value to you?
They would do that, and then it was like, yeah, I'll run all the way through each series. It's like, no,
they
that's
would
wrong.
be like, okay, here's all of that season of JoJo's.
It's like, no,
that can still be fun. I had a lot of fun back when the Power Rangers movie was going to come out, and the Twitch channel that we're going to show all of Power Rangers sequentially.
No, there is value in that
was
too.
a lot of fun.
There is value in that too. But my thing is, if you want people to find things, discoverability is a huge problem now. You know the way you fix that? You force a live discoverability tab. You get people to just tune into a channel. Other people can watch that channel. All these fucking tech companies keep trying to invent the way to do live television.
Right.
Like Apple is doing that. Apple has features that's like share play, I think it's called. I forget what their name for it is. But it's the same concept of like, oh, if you're watching Netflix and someone else on an iOS device has a Netflix sub, you could both watch the thing. And it's like, we are just desperately trying to be live television. Which is why when Twitch does it, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're going to show a bunch of Bob Ross painting.
Yeah, and that was huge.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah. People like having a thing to gather around.
If there was a Columbo station on Twitch, it would have blown up. But you're too stupid. The people who own Columbo, Peacock, they're like, they'll go to Peacock to watch it. I'm like, you don't want to make Twitch money?
We're planning to merge Peacock with Paramount because they are not, in fact, coming.
They are not Zobek. They are not, in fact, coming, Gabriel.
So here's a fun story. Somebody ran an insane scam on Steam where they changed every single thing about their games page to be Helldivers 2 and then put the game on sale for 75% off.
Did it work?
They changed.
Bold.
Well, they were shut down in less than 12 hours. They didn't get any money because Valve like staggers payments. They don't just instantly put it in your bank account when someone buys the game.
I've had my hand open next to my mailbox all day.
Right? It's like walking into a bank with a cardboard box that says bank on it and like putting it next to a teller window and waiting for people to give you money. Like it's just not gonna work.
They've been deleted and presumably killed.
Weird.
And I saw people saying, I can't believe Valve doesn't have a way to prevent this. Why would they? It's unbelievably stupid and can't work.
Right?
Like, it literally can't work. I'm sure they automatically refunded anybody who bought that game during that time frame.
God.
Like, I feel like you don't need to have like a plan for somebody setting themselves on fire in front of you.
Right?
Humble Bundle did a similar thing today.
Oh.
It was on Night in Burst where they put the game on sale for 80% off. Only it was them, and that was actually the game, and they just gave it for 80% off because they're insane.
Oh. Oops. Was that intentional or
No, because they took it off after a couple hours.
Oh. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm still just imagining the guy who did the Helldivers thing. Didn't even pay attention to it past doing it. Still out at their mailbox with the hand open, just waiting.
And then a gun comes out of the mailbox.
Right. No, I'm sure he'll see no repercussions.
Yeah, there's no way Sony would go after your ass. They're not litigious at all.
Oh, yeah.
No.
God, Sony's going to bust their teeth. But Capcom has announced it will be increasing its starting salary in Japan by more than 25% Existing employees will also get a one-time special bonus and an average salary increase of more than 5%. Wow, a company that sells a lot and instead of laying people off, it increases everybody's salary?
Whoa.
Oh my god, it's almost like it's a correctly run company. I can't believe those exist anywhere.
We can't do that. Possible.
Yeah, the
Billions must
shareholders
die.
want- Yeah, billions must die. Vanillaware doesn't want a PC port from Sega, at least. Sega was asked about Unicorn Overlord and PC and basically said, we'd love to do it, but Vanillaware doesn't want it. So whether that means they don't want it because they are doing one or have someone else doing one, or they don't want one because they are, a small Japanese company that thinks the internet is the witch, is unclear.
Right.
And yet, one of my friends who's primarily a PC gamer by a lot has just been waiting for Dragon's Crown for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
any day
sorry.
now. And I'm like,
Yeah, sure. Sure.
I hope.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but I maybe they're just too small to do it themselves, and they use their own custom engine so no one else can do it for them. I don't know. Feels like they should be able to work something out.
It feels possible, maybe, that they're one of the paranoid Japanese developers. Like, we can't give you our information. You'll figure out our amazing technology. It's like,
Yeah,
your amazing technology is your art,
right?
sir.
It's the millions of man hours you put into that art.
Sir.
You sell an art book. Come on.
I see in chat. Oh, Unicorn Overlord is on Xbox, though. But it might not be on the next one because that's too close to a PC.
Man, Microsoft's sure lucky they went and sucked Sega's dick until Sega started supporting them again.
For now.
Right.
Yeah, for now, I do wonder how long until Sega looks at like, so we sold no copies of any Persona game on this because we made them Game Pass for some reason. We sold no copies of Unicorn Overlord. We sold no copies of Yakuza Infinite Wealth, and we sold no copies of SMT5. Maybe we're just done. And the last thing I have is Rooster Teeth has been shut down after 21 years. They had roughly 150 employees. They were all laid off. WB is looking to sell Ruby, Red versus Blue, which feels complicated because it's considering it's a Halo Machinima series.
Yeah.
And Genlock. Ain't nobody buying Genlock.
Yeah, come on.
What are you doing? Somebody's going to buy Ruby. Possibly someone who used to work on Blaze Blue.
I still don't know what Genlock is because Genlock is the name of a technology from the 80s. What is Genlock?
It is. Imagine a American-made CG mecha anime made by people who make video essays that are wrong about mecha anime.
It's also probably the ugliest thing they made.
Okay. All right. That sucks for anyone who's a fan of Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
All I can think of is when the Game Grumps people bought themselves back from Disney because Disney owned Maker and Maker bought them. Being a part of a giant corporation that's not true strength.
It seems like WB tried a really big Ruby push with stuff like the Justice League Cross Ruby, and then Ruby didn't become Dragon Ball, so it's like,
Yeah, they even got an anime made. And I think that was last year.
so they got a really big marketing push, and then it didn't become the biggest thing in the world. And when that doesn't happen, corporations are just like,
Yeah.
Anyways, we need to talk about the Xbox Partner Showcase. Let me just type that here. Xbox Partner Showcase. Okay, and unfortunately, I missed this earlier this week, and will again.
Oh no.
Like recapping, Bob.
All right. Did either of you watch it at all?
I watched it.
no.
Okay.
I thumbed through it. I
So I can confirm for you that
tapped through it.
the narrator they have was an inexplicable choice.
Yes, the weird narrator that only shows up after some trailers. He sounds like he's just tired and wants to go back to bed and kind of upset that you're even in his house.
He really does. Like, he sounds like the editor just doing, like, he's recording these lines to check the timing.
Uh-huh. Like, this wasn't supposed to be in the final video. That they go through a few games. Maybe Aggro, you can help me on this one. The first one's called Unknown 9 Awakening. It's a third-person, narrative-driven action-adventure game, and it's so plain I can't describe any part of it.
I think that had some element of like making echoes of yourself to do things.
I don't think so. That was another game.
I think there was 2 games with that in it.
Okay, because in
Because
this
there's
one,
definitely a part where she's like zipping around as a ghost and possessing guys and queuing up their different actions to make them all kill each other.
right?
Yeah, it seems like you would pause time and then set stuff up and then let it go.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they opened it on because it looked like insanely cheap.
This is like the show, like Microsoft's current console identity is we have all the games you buy for $13 on a Steam sale and never boot up.
Yes.
Like that's what all this stuff feels like, because it's like, well, we don't have any fucking big games. Sony gets all of those. Here's the Sinking City 2 and Stalker and
Yeah, no, not the new Soccer.
Unknown 9. I
It's
think Stalker 3 is supposed to be or Stalker 2 is supposed to be an Xbox console exclusive. But we haven't seen it in forever.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is, but that's if it's real. They also showed Sleight of Hand, which they just showed a CG trailer for this one, but it's like a 1940s like noir setting, and apparently a mix of stealth action and card system of some sort. It seems like you will have some sort of deck you're building.
Yeah, so like who knows what the gameplay actually is. I'm hoping it's neon white, but stealth.
That would be pretty sweet. I really doubt it's that.
It might be shitty Metal Gear Acid, but stealth.
You know, that's better than it could be.
Wait a second, Bob. I don't see altars.
No, you don't. I didn't bother writing altars.
No, that's so funny. It's like you're on an alien planet and there's a giant wheel station and it's piloted by many yous, and then the other you is like, oh, I sound like this because I was divorced. And I'm like, this is the funniest fucking game I've ever fucking seen. And Bob's like, I hate this. I didn't even write it into my document. I'm like,
Aww.
but they all have comically different voices, despite the fact it's like, hello, governor, I went to college, so I sound like this.
I know some people like that.
Hey, you can't talk about Eric like that, man. He's
It was a genuinely interesting concept. But my main takeaway was, yes, I too saw that one sci-fi movie I don't want to spoil. Good job.
Yes. I also thought that, but you know, that was the comedy in that seemed intentional, and it cuts through the tension of the theme, but also ramps it up. Whereas in this, it's like, just unaware.
You got 20 versions of you, and you can't keep them all happy. I'm like, look, game, I don't have the emotional intelligence or the bandwidth to deal with that. No, thank you.
You tell that motherfucker in science he better solve this fucking problem or he should kill himself. And by he should kill himself, I mean I will kill him because he's me. I will feel nothing because I'm still alive and that motherfucker ain't real as far as I'm concerned.
Seriously, I will rule this mono-wheel multi-habitat with an iron fist.
Look, I don't care how bad your divorce
I don't
was.
give a shit. Get back to hydroponics. You are married to hydroponics now, you scruffy son of a bitch.
Get this, your marriage isn't real. Look at you. You're working hydroponics.
What?
You got that one fucker who looks healthier than all the other ones. He's like, you know, if you want a relationship to last, you need to put some effort in. And like everyone beats his shit with a crowbar.
That'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah, so why didn't you want to talk about that? That game seems hilarious. It seems like the best game since Tom Goes to the Narrative.
What a bar. We also heard about Creatures of Ava. You play as some lady who's on some sort of mystical planet that has weird animals that you can herd, I guess, and you fight enemies using your water stick. And I'm not entirely sure what the point of this game is. It might be a farming game.
Pokemon Snap?
Power World?
I don't know. Yeah, I kept waiting for the record scratch, but I really dug the aesthetic.
Yeah, no, it looked nice. Then they showed a trailer for Sinking City 2. It was another CG trailer, but this one had in-engine footage at the bottom. And then had every single psychological horror trope you could think of just in a row. And then they're like, buy it. You're excited now. But that comes out in 2025.
I would like to take this moment to remind everyone, Unreal Engine 5 is used for special effects in movies.
Uh-huh.
So in-engine footage means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing. That means nothing. It means nothing. It means less than nothing.
Transparently wasn't like a game. Like, it's not.
Yeah, it's not even pretending to be a game.
Right.
Oh, that's not true. There's one part where he's walking and shining a flashlight on things that is definitely trying to trick you into thinking that's how the game will be.
If you don't believe me that it means nothing, go watch the 2019 trailer for Hellblade 2 that is in engine. All right.
Did you come back? Okay.
No, I'm never coming back. I went beyond the pale.
They showed a trailer for Final Fantasy 14 coming to Xbox. That comes out March 21st, so it's really close.
They should have changed their fucking policy so that you didn't have to have Xbox. I'm sorry, Xbox Game Pass Core to play it online.
Thank you.
They should have adopted PlayStation's thing of if it has a subscription, you don't have to play online. You don't have to pay for online.
Right.
Because as it is now, like, okay, congratulations, Xbox Final Fantasy 14 player, you're paying twice as much.
Mm-hmm. They also announced Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy.
These are words you've said in an order. Did it mean anything?
It's 3 games. They're like all old Stalker games.
Oh, okay.
It's out on PlayStation as well. There was a shadow drop for both of them today.
Okay.
Or yesterday, I guess. But yeah, it comes with Shadow of Chernobyl, which for some reason Chernobyl spelled with an O instead of an E. Call of
Chernobyl.
Yeah, like Chernobyl.
Oh, okay. I'm like, Bob, they're
I know. I was like, Bob, it's not Chernobyl. It's me, the Chernobyl.
Call of
Pripyat,
and Clear Sky.
So this is just 3 Stalker games.
Yeah, 3 old ones. And they ported them to Xbox One, not Xbox Series. So at the bottom of the screen, in gigantic gaudy text, it's constantly like, captured on Xbox Series X via backwards compatibility.
Oh, hey, they added a game to back compat. Technically.
Sure.
I don't think that should count.
That doesn't count because that's the Xbox One.
It's also on PlayStation, which is bizarre.
Is it? Is it bizarre to...
Well, I mean, they have exclusivity for Soccer 2. Not for Soccer 1.
Oh, I thought it was using more complicated version of the back compat. If it's just the Xbox One back compat, then whatever.
Yeah, no, it's just Xbox
I'm glad that I had sleep paralysis this week because I feel like that is a similar experience to trying to play Stalker on a controller.
Oh, I'm sure.
Apparently a next gen patch is coming later. And allegedly mod support too.
Weird.
Interesting.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know how any of those Bethesda net mods on console things worked out in practice, so I don't know enough to talk about how that worked.
The only console mod stuff that I ever knew of working out was Unreal Engine or Unreal Shooter 3. Unreal Tournament 3, which had mod support on PS3.
Right.
That was interesting and weird, and man, I sure wish that game ran well. Because I'm not going to play a 30 frame per second shooter.
No.
That controls like butt.
But it's okay. You can make it run even worse by doing these mods.
I'm not going to do that either.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's weird that the trilogy of Stalker games is coming out on both, and 2's only coming out on Xbox. Do we have a date on 2?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we've heard about 2 in over a year.
That makes sense.
Probably the biggest news is that the Persona 3 news that came out during this.
She's right over there.
Fuck yourself, Sega. Go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Oh, look out. She's right behind you.
Know, she's very expensive, as you can see. I can't afford this lady.
I can't afford this lady. She's $35.
It really sucks that this season pass shit has progressed into, well, we can force you to buy shit you don't want instead of just the shit you do want.
Yep. So, Bob, what's the deal with episode Aegis or Aegis, The Answer?
This is the actual epilogue to the game. This epilogue was released in 2008 on the PlayStation 2 in the Persona 3 FES edition. So this isn't exactly new. But it's been remade for the new game. But pay $35 to get the whole season pass. That's the only way to get this. The season pass comes with music from Persona 4 and 5 and Velvet Room costumes for the main characters.
Oh, the Velvet Room. That's like the Red Room. Wow, it's just like Twin Peaks. I should spend $105 so my game has an ending.
Persona 3 has an ending.
Right.
To be fair, Persona 3 has an ending, and most people seem to think the Answer's ending is worse.
Yeah. I heard nothing but bad stuff about it too.
I've never heard a good thing about
That's bad
Answer.
in a different way. Where it's like, hey, you know that bad thing? You want it. $35.
Yeah, $35.
All right.
It's absolutely unreasonable. They charge $70 for a very slipshod remake of a PlayStation 2 game, and it doesn't even have everything, and then they want to do this.
Yeah, let me be clear my stance on this, because I know people in the past have been like, oh, it looks fine. One, the city environments in Persona 3 Reload do not look good enough for a $70 game, because your $70 game should look like Spider-Man 2 or Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. If you're charging $70, you should look that good. Like a Dragon Infinite, Wealth may be able to escape this because that's apparently an immaculate super game that everyone loves. That, worth noting, is not a remake of a PS2 game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and this does not include the season pass they already are selling for $27 that has costumes and music. What the? Yeah. They're crazy. I don't know what's up with that. But
That's insane.
I guess we can move on.
Yeah, let's move on. I'm going to blow a blood vessel.
We got to see more footage of the first Berserker, Kazan, which is the Dark Souls-inspired game that's set in the Dungeon Fighter Online universe. You play as this really beefy dude with white hair who uses two swords. And it looks very Dark Souls-y, way more than I expected. There's a ton of parrying in the combat, and they even show like him pulling levers and pushing doors open, very look like they were modeled after Dark Souls animations. Game could still be neat. I'm still kind of excited for it, but definitely less so than last time.
I assume it'll play mostly like a normal action game and just has like these Soulsy conventions, like the like the levers and stuff, because every fucking game is doing that shit now.
I don't know. Even the combat looked kind of more slower. Like there's a certain thing about it that made it look like not what I expect from a regular action game, but more like that.
It is still crazy that this is in that universe, the Dungeon Fighter Online universe.
You would never guess.
It's so absolutely insane that it's like, yeah, it's that, and I'm like, that is that,
right? Because it's not aesthetically like what you expect at all.
Right? Like, look at that. That's fucking crazy. Anyway.
And then we got to see more about Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess. It's going to be out this year. It's on Game Pass. They did a little breakdown on how the game works. It is somewhat like a tower defense in some ways. Yes, it's also kind of like Pikmin. Because you have like two phases. The first phase, you go around saving people in a little environment. And then the second phase, you command them to like help fight off waves of enemies.
Oh, that is Pikmin. That's like Pikmin 4. It's like modded added.
You got some red guys and some yellow guys, and you make them go fight the big guy.
And but it's still an action game, so you get to control your own guy.
So what I'm hearing is this is like somewhere between a Pikmin and like 99 Nights or that other Dynasty Warriors like that came out on the Xbox original.
Oh, Under Siege, Kingdom Under Fire. Kingdom Under Fire.
Yeah, Kingdom Under Fire. So it's somewhere between these.
But it seems
points.
like way smaller scale, like more like a Pikmin scale.
So how big is a soda can compared to your character? Would you say?
There also is like no implication of story in this game at all, which is weird.
Yeah, that's like the fucking
like Exoprimal.
Yeah,
Yeah, which end up having a story.
that they hid successfully from the marketing material until the last moment, it seemed.
Mm-hmm. I certainly hope they don't charge $60 or $70 for this.
No, it's on Game Pass. It's free.
That's not what that means.
Yeah, I certainly hope they're like. I feel like if like this guys, if this is a cent more than 40, you may it's too high.
I'm gonna be like, yes, I would love that PC Game Pass code, and then just wait until Kami comes out and then use it.
Because it look honestly, the director of this at least was on a mobile thing before this. Shinsekai, something of the deep, I think.
Shinsekai. You actually missed one.
Shinsekai Into the Depths
You
is
missed
what the
one.
game they were.
Oh, did I?
And this,
Yeah.
and this game looks like it could have like controls on a mobile phone. So it might even been a mobile thing that got like promoted.
Yeah, it does look pretty nice, but yeah, you could definitely see that sort of idea being a more mobile focus, and then be like, wait, mobile games don't sell. Why would we make that? Yes, there was one game I missed. Tales of Kenzera, ZAU, which those are all caps. Maybe you're supposed to pronounce it, maybe you're not. I'm not sure. But this is that game we got to see during the Game Awards, presented by that dude who wore the cool flag cape. That was like half a cape.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, he looks so dope. I'm a streamer. I could dress like that and it'd be my job. And I didn't think of that once until today. He looks like a badass Destiny dude.
Yeah, no, he has that Trace Kusanada look from Gundam Wing. It's incredible.
Bob, we agreed if we're going to dress like a Gundam character, it has to be short-asnable. And we just, every time we see a lady on screen in a video game, doesn't matter the age, we go, it could have been like a mother to me. Could have been like a mother to me. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Definitely could have been a mother.
But they showed more of that. It looks cool. It's clearly another game that someone greenlit because Metroid Dread did well.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you, Metroid Dread.
I think it's like a mystical African setting. And they talk about how all the abilities you get work both in combat and it is part traversal, and it looked cool.
I am inherently interested. Apparently, that's April 23rd.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Very close,
Nice.
actually.
That's too close.
It is too close.
Need a little bit more time. Apparently, 7 Rebirth is like 80 hours, and Like a Dragon's 100. And I hear some other games might be coming out in the next few weeks, and that makes me
maybe
sweat.
hours.
What? What comes out?
Unicorn Overlord.
Oh, my copy doesn't get here until next week. Why do I not have a shitty MIDI cover of the sad Charlie Brown theme? Like the one on the piano? I should just have like a Genesis. Womp, 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 womp. I should get my local chiptune composer to do the sound, the Genesis sound gems version.
Or like the chiptune version of like the sad Incredible Hulk theme.
Good theme.
That needs to be on Game Boy Original. That's the sound I'm either that or Master System / Game Gear. That's what I'm hearing for the. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, that's it. I'm waiting a little bit longer for my Unicorn Overlord because it's got that card game,
Right.
and I want that. And Amazon, if you fuck this up, I'm coming for you.
They will, though, just so we're clear.
Just so we're clear, I know that, but you can't do the whole Taken thing without something at the beginning.
I don't think I'd call that the whole Taken thing, though.
You
It's kind
give
of a
me my
half-assed
card.
take.
You give me my card game, everything is fine. You never hear from me again. If you don't give me my card game, I will find you and kill you and everyone you've ever known.
I do not have a set of useful skills. I'm a live streamer.
People are like, we want that as a sound, and I'm like, banned. Yeah, I guess that's it for Big Think this week. Bob and I tomorrow are playing 50 Cent Blood on the Sand enhanced via the power of the Xbox Series X. It's going to be so good, 60 frames per second. Once again, I have no idea if that will be able to survive the nightmare that is YouTube copyright claims. So you want to be there. And on Sunday, we're doing yet again another March 10th Mario Marathon. This time, it's going to be Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. And you all can make us flop the swap. Or slop the flop. No.
Cut it.
Okay. All right. Chris, what do you have going on?
Redfall. I don't.
Thought he said
I don't-
breadfall. And I'm like,
I don't
is that
know-
what
I don't
Panera's calling
actually-
their all-you-can-eat menu?
I don't actually know how long Redfall's story is. I presume somewhere between 8 to 15 hours. Because I feel like even in the amount I played, it felt like I was almost halfway through the game.
I'm just gonna type how long to Redfall.
No, Dan, that won't work. No one's played it.
It says here, according to legend, the game's 12 hours long.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
According to legend.
So that'll be the next week, and then we'll layer Silent Hill into Suda games.
Ooh, that's a combo.
Because I feel like if I did all of Silent Hill at once, I'd be like, yeah, I sure have been fucking lost in this maze of doors for 3 games.
I think you'll mostly have that with 2. I feel like 1 is mostly you out in the streets, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's also a bunch of locked doors and you got to check every single one over and over, and there are 3 floors. Aggro, what do you got going on?
Unicorn Overlord.
All right, then. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Big Think Dimension. See you all whatever. Bye. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. Big Think Dimension is only possible because of your support over at patreon.com/GVPodcast, where you can get early access to Pokemon Go to the Movies and Chugging Bleach, our Pokemon movie and Bleach rewatch podcast. We also have tons of extras over there, such as Gamer Premonitions extras, where you get the premonitions we left on the floor and a lot of other stuff in Isolation 119. That's at patreon.com/GVPodcast.